Peloton up 5%.
What's up, disciplined investor?
We got Benzinga CEO Jason Raznick here with us.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tom Nash.
Peter Schiff on the Power Hour with us live today. Interesting, different, unique, innovative companies. Mia, you are live with us on the Power Hour. What's up?
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Jessica Billingsley, that is the CEO of Akerna. The best trade idea resource out there. Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy. Oh, I'm getting an echo. Does that sound okay? Tell me if I sound okay or not. I'm hearing myself twice. But what's up, guys? Happy Thursday. Wow, already Thursday, and we are rip-roaring. Market at all-time highs. Let's go. We're looking at 395 on SPY right now. Portfolio is at all-time highs. Yeah, sound not okay. All right, Drew, open us up. I'm going to work on this, okay?
How we doing, guys? It is Drew and Luke today. We're going to be talking about a lot of stocks. We got a lot of special guests. I'm so excited Luke brought me on. It's just going to be a great show in general. So,
Does that sound better, Drew?
oh, nope, you had it for a second there.
Hold on. Okay, keep going.
There you go. There you go.
Wait, it sounds fixed or no?
It sounds
I still hear
fixed.
myself twice.
That's not good.
No, not good at all. All right, keep going.
All righty. Well, market is starting to come back. I think a lot of portfolios are starting to creep back into the green for the year. Guys, comment a 1 if you are up on the year. Comment a 2 if you are down on the year. I'm really interested to see if people are up now, if people are down. A lot of stocks have been hit so hard. We've seen a lot of stocks dropping 30%, 20%, some even 10%. I mean, it's been a wild start of 2021, but things are already starting to come back. Things are starting to look strong. A few stocks in my portfolio are starting to make some really big moves back into the green. Look at SPY today, up 1.35%.
Yeah, here's the year to date. I mean, we spent 2 weeks in like freak out mode, right? And guys, tell me still if my audio is screwy. But we spent like 2 weeks in freak out mode, and we were worried. And now we're back to the all-time highs. How are you handling it, Drew? I want to get your take.
Yeah, so I did not change anything in my personal portfolio. I just chilled there. I do have some money. I was thinking about adding more money into my account, but unfortunately the money was a little bit too tied up. I tried to get it, but I wanted to add to my positions. I did, and I'm just chilling right now. I got a lot of tech that was maybe a little bit overvalued, some would say. Palantir, right? It hit 45. Right now it's around 26. That's a big stock of mine. Enphase Energy, a stock I really like as well. That stock was trading upwards of 200, and now it's down quite a bit. So, I see some positive. I see some negative, but overall, these are good stocks that, maybe on the year to date, they're actually still negative, but I don't know. We'll see how things go. I mean, they have a little bit of a wild valuation. So with interest rates maybe coming up, they might do a little bit bad in the short term, but I'm still holding them for the long. How about your portfolio, Luke?
I'm rip roaring, guys. So here's the live portfolio that we look at every single day, right? My real interactive brokers account that we're making all these trades in together. And I have, let's see, we're not going to throw out warrants and options. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 8 stocks that are up more than 5% today. So I'm back to all-time highs. That said, I'm still much more conservative than I was 3 weeks ago. I'm still holding SPY puts. I've got about half of my portfolio is hedged at SPY puts. It would take about a 10% market downturn, and then I'd be fully hedged on half of it. And I also rotated a lot of stocks. I went from like I don't know. I don't want to call them low quality stocks, right? That's sort of mean, but I went from I lightened up the load on a lot of these speculative positions, right? A lot of the names where it's, hey, they're not cash flow positive yet, or like we're in this stock on a hope and a prayer because we think that they're going to have 400% revenue growth over the next 2 years.
I cut back a lot of those types of holdings. I bought more of the ETFs, right? I got more SPY and that sort of thing. And then I also bought more of what I consider like high quality, good stocks, right? I got more Ford. I got more GM. I know I'm gonna get roasted for always talking about these same stocks. But I really rotate into a lot of what I call these higher quality names, right? I think Apple is another one that I'm going to be looking to add in here and increase the allocation on Apple a little bit. So there's the deal for me. But all right, Drew, let's run it through an agenda today. We've got some good things ahead of us. So first stock that I want to talk about today. Let's get back to this one from yesterday. Roblox. Drew, you weren't here yesterday, but we ran a competition. We said who can most closely guess the price of Roblox, the closing price. So let's look at that price action there, and let's do that one. Drew, I want to get your take on GameStop. We're going to do that. We had earnings from both Celsius and Asana and AMC. So we got to do AMC. We're going to do General Electric, and then I want to talk about PE ratio as well. So we're going to try to do all of that, guys, before 12:30 Eastern. So in the next, I don't know, let's see, 23 minutes that we have here, 12:30 on the dot. We're going to have the CEO of a super hot stock joining us. Let me get my screen up here. All right, check this one out. GLSI. Let's go to a 1-year chart. Look at this. Look at this 1-year chart. Ticker GLSI. Golf Lima Sandy India. The stock went from $5 to $160 to $29, right? Crazy. So we're going to be talking about that stock with the company themselves. At 1 o'clock, we're going to be talking the UFC fighting and gambling and where that market's going. And then of course we are going to take tickers out of the chat because we don't want ideas just to come from myself, not just from Jason, not just from Drew, but most importantly from Zinger Nation. All of you out there in the chat, guys. Put in there what tickers you're trading today, what stocks you want us to look at, because we'll have some time to get to them. But first things first, Drew, should we talk about the Roblox?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's start off with this Roblox close price competition. So yesterday, if you guys weren't around, you missed out. You were sleeping. We ran a contest with Zinger Nation. That's all of you out there in the chat where we're asking, what is the closing price of Roblox going to be? That's what we wanted to know. Okay, we had a ton of guesses in here. And Drew, can you grab that close price for us?
The close price yesterday. Let me pull that up real quick. Today is up. We don't care about that. It looks like the close price yesterday, $69.50. $69.50. Who is the closest?
Gosh. All right, let's run this change. So we're going here minus that divided by that. All right, let's drag these down. It might be the person who guessed 69.69.
That would be a pretty good guess.
As much as I don't want that to be true, I think that's our best guess. All right, Joe P in the chat. His guess, Roblox closing price $69.69. We saw the stock price out there at $45. It opened for trade somewhere around 65, and then closed yesterday $69.50 on the dot. Joe P out there in the chat, congratulations everybody. Let's warm it up. Let's warm our fingers up, or trading or typing fingers. Give them a round of applause. Come on now. Jopi in the chat, most closely guessing the price, off by 0.27% with his guess of $69.69. Now let's click over and look at some of that price action that we have going on in the stock today. Here's the 2-day chart. It's only been around for about a day and a half so far. We got rip roaring this morning. Roblox is actually showing sort of like this GameStop pattern where it's this really early morning. We only have 1 day of data, but it was that really early morning trade where the stock went berserk and is now pulled off, still up on the day, but more or less leveled out. What's your take here, Drew? And then I'm going to have an opinion.
Yeah, definitely, right? This is a new IPO stock. I brought this up yesterday.
Wait. Chris Collins is saying he got 69.42.
Okay.
All right, we've got to look at this. Yeah, okay.
Oh, it's a good thing he was here.
It's a good thing he was here. A damn good thing. All right. We're taking it back, Joe P. You don't win. I'm sorry. You get the second place medal. We did have a 69.42 off by only 8 cents. Damn, that's pretty good. All right, shout out Chris. Shout out Chris in the chat with that guess. powerhour@benzinga.com. That is the email to send to. But all right, keep going, Drew. I've got an opinion on this price action today. I want to see where you're at. And I'm gonna throw this one out to the chat. All of you out there in Zinger Nation, if you had to make a choice, right? You had to make the decision to either go long Roblox here, put a 1 in the chat. Otherwise put a 2. Right? You have to pick one way or another. You can't abstain. You got to pick 1 if you'd go long it, 2 if you'd go short it. You don't have to actually make the trade, but I want to see where everybody's at. But Drew, keep going.
Yeah, guys, it's a $40 billion valuation, just to put some things in perspective. Facebook. Oh, my voice is gone, but Facebook, great company, didn't have a great IPO. IPOs, they're hit or miss, right? It's really hard to say if they're a good buy, if they're not a good buy. In my eyes, should I buy Roblox? I don't know. I'm gonna abstain from it. I'm not gonna touch it. That's my personal opinion. If the stock comes down, I actually do like their business model. The only thing that scares me with this is they've got basically one video game. It's an MMO basically, but is it a fad? That's the question you gotta ask yourself. It could be scary, right? If this thing's a fad, it could be gone like that in 1 year. I mean, look at Fortnite. It took off and it died. You really do not know with video games. Luke, tell me your personal opinion.
All right, so here's where I'm at with this one, right? You've got this really hot issue. The stock's up 4% today, right? Not a bad day by any means. But then if we go and we look at the NASDAQ today, the NASDAQ's up almost 3%. Right? It's not like this is crazy outperformance, especially for a stock that's getting so much airtime and headlines and dominating everybody's mind space. So I don't love the fact that it's only up 4%. Because I'm in this mode of de-risking my portfolio. Again, I had some bad days last week and it freaked me out. I mean, if you can't stomach losses you're taking, you need to change something, and that's exactly where I was. And so I wouldn't be hitting this one long. And a really good question out of the chat. Peter Kim's asking, has anybody actually played Roblox here? I haven't. I mean, I'm curious if anybody else has. If you guys have, drop your experience in the chat. I'm curious to hear what everybody has to say about it. But yeah, so neither of us really love it. The chat was super mixed too. We just threw out, if you like it, hit the 1. If not, hit the 2. The chat was very, very 50-50. So there's the deal there. And David's saying his 11-year-old would pay $100 for the stock, so he's got to load up then. So yeah, he's got 50% upside right there. All right, so there's Roblox. Let's go. Drew, you want to do GameStop, or you want to bust out our 3 earnings tickers? We have 3 earnings stocks: Celsius, Asana, and AMC.
Yeah, I actually looked at Celsius this morning, so I'm super excited for that. But very quickly, let's go over GameStop. GME, baby. What a wild ride it has been. A few people I know, friend of friends, one of them still owns it. We were saying, sell this thing at 340, get it off your plate. It's not going to break 340. It's tried this in the past. It's almost gone to what, 400, whatnot. I don't remember. What was the high back?
Let's see. The high was higher than that. Was 480 almost on the dot, just above 480 was the high. Here's a 1-year chart. Here's a 3-month chart. And then now here's 5 days of price action.
Yeah, so it's wild. I do not know this for sure. I have not done research in the stock, to be honest. I'm not super interested in it. But when this thing dropped to 50, I had a feeling that a lot of hedge funds, a lot of institutions still thought this thing was overvalued, and I'm sure they shorted it once again. That's probably why we're seeing this parabolic price movement once again. The battle is not up. I love to see that, though. People taking advantage. Look, what do you think? Why is this price action happening once again?
I don't know. I mean, we did get actual news, right? It seems like the Chewy crew is actually taking over. You know, I'm gonna bring this up. I'm gonna recap what we had yesterday. So yesterday, we had Rod Alsman. He's sort of the face man for GMEDD.com. That's the site that's been publishing a lot of the research on GameStop, and he brought up a good point, right? He said that at $250 a share, the stock is only trading at 3 times price to sales. If we look at the average price to sales ratio, which is one of my favorite ratios, we're just doing a quick value analysis on a stock. Price to sales is one of my favorites. S&P 500 is trading at 3.8 times price to sales, right? So it's not like it's a crazy valuation. What is concerning to him, and he didn't say like this is a no-brainer buy at this point, but basically what was concerning to him was like, people are putting 100% confidence in the turnaround at this current price. You know, I don't have one opinion one way or another right now. I mean, I don't know. I mean, are we going to shoot higher? Are we going to shoot lower? Are we going to sit around in the middle? I'm not sure. What I am sure about is we're going to be watching this conference call that they have in 2 weeks now, very, very closely. Right. Rod, again, he's much more of an expert on this stock than I am. Basically, his opinion is he's more or less sitting tight. He's selling puts against the stock. So you sell puts, you're more or less long it. But he's selling puts against the stock and more or less sitting tight until we get to that earnings conference call. And what we want to see there is we want to see a very clean and defined plan of action for the company's e-commerce rollout. Right, that's what the deal is. If we get that, then great. If not, then he has concerns. So again, guys, 2 weeks. We do have the confirmed date here. Let's get the exact date for everybody. All right. So after market close on March 23rd, that's when we're going to be getting updates from the company. And so I'm sort of just on the sidelines until then.
That's going to be a super exciting earnings call. I may have to stream that.
That's going to be the best earnings call of all time. Yes, we should absolutely stream that and watch it all together and get the chat going, get Zinger Nation out there representing as we're doing it.
So is Ryan Cohen going to be on that call, or is it just going to be the CEO?
I doubt it. Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that. So if you guys haven't listened to conference calls before, but basically they're investor updates that companies do every quarter. All public companies do them, as far as I know. I think all companies do them. And typically it's the CEO, CFO, and maybe some other executive team member. But again, typically the CEO and CFO. So I would doubt that Ryan Cohen would be on there as a board member. Everybody wants to hear from him. So it's possible, but I wouldn't expect it.
He is kind of the face of it, though. So that it is interesting because, you know, without him, the company is kind of nothing, it seems like, or it has been. I mean, Michael Burry, he bought in pre-Ryan Cohen, which is absolutely insane. Sold way early. Yeah. But I don't know. I think there was value there, and I think it was a very interesting scenario, maybe a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, especially around $3, but quite a crazy thing going on.
Yep. And shout out to Biffs in the chat saying, everybody go like this video. Yeah, what the hell? We 580 watchers, 52 likes. I mean, like it, share it. I mean, let's get this thing going. All right, Drew, we have 10 minutes before our first guest is coming on. Should we hammer through these earning stocks?
Yeah, let's pull up Celsius. I'm super excited about this stock.
I want to hear about Celsius.
All right. Yeah. All right. Give us the read. Stock's down 20% after what looked like good numbers.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Keep going. So here they are, I guess. Let me just read the numbers really quick. Yeah. So basically, we were speculating yesterday that they should beat their revenue number, which they did. They reported sales of $35.7 million versus the $34.6 million estimate, and then they reported positive net income. So they switched from losing money last year to actually earning money this year. So where are you at with it?
Yeah. So the EPS, right, the earnings per share, 35 million sounds like so much money. But in perspective, that's only 2 cents per share, I believe it is, when it's fully diluted. So it's not a.
But it's a growth stock.
It's a growth stock, right? It's better than losing money, 1,000% in my eyes. Break even, like that's fine. I'd obviously rather see that than losing money. But where was this thing's valuation at, right? It's got a pretty steep valuation. Numbers look good. I actually worked at Equinox during my high school years, and I would sell these things every single day. I never knew they were publicly traded until Jonah Lupton came on the show. And then I was kind of like, whoa, they're publicly traded. That's kind of nuts. So I kind of have been looking into it ever since. The earnings came out, thing got beat up. I might be starting a position here. I still want to do more research. I've looked at, some stuff. I have a little bit of personal experience, a little bit of an edge maybe, but I think I'm going to start a position. What do you think, Luke?
So I don't have the same degree of confidence that you do yet. If I was more risk on, then I would be doing the same thing that you're doing. I'd say, all right, let's go, let's hit this thing, let's run the cash register. There it is. But I don't know. We'll see where it settles out. It looks like the bleeding has stopped. The stock's caught a bid and is starting to run back up. I mean, it was down 30% this morning. We're down 20% now. The numbers look really good. How does the valuation look, Drew? And here, let me show you this. This is the last several quarters of revenue results that the company's reported. I mean, it shows some steady growth. An issue with this quarter is that it wasn't up from the preceding quarter. But how does valuation look on this one?
Yeah, so I don't really know what that. They pull it up in the Y charts.
Comment on the show.
You want to answer that one, Drew?
Sorry?
Can you answer this question that we have up here?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
No. I'm learning, but not that. So, okay, market cap 3.5 billion, right? Revenue price to sales is 30. So it's not. I mean, that's pretty steep, right? That is pretty steep. That's, I think, me and Luke's favorite kind of numbers to look at. Yesterday, Luke said he hates PE. Unfortunately, I didn't stick around to hear that explanation.
Well, we didn't get to it yet, so
okay.
Maybe we'll have time to do it today.
Okay. I kind of agree that PE is kind of, it depends on what you're buying, right? If you're buying a bank stock, I think it is important. If you're buying Celsius, why even look at it? But 30 is still pretty steep for a price to sales. I'm pulling up the chart of how it's traded. The price to sales has gone from in early 20 of just 2 to anywhere between 2 to 5. Now it's up at 30. So the valuation, usually you see price to sales come down as the company, continues to pop off like they have, right? They only had 9 million in revenue. Now they have 36. So they're multiplying the revenue in 1 year, but their valuation is growing even faster, right? That's a little bit concerning to me. That's probably why I might not start a position. But yeah, what do you think, Luke? Have you looked at any of their numbers?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, price to sales, that's where I started on this one, especially when historically it hasn't been profitable. And again, if I was more risk seeking right now, then I would probably go ahead and take a starter position. But because I'm risk off, I'm just sitting on the sidelines on this one.
Yeah. Well, we do know the energy industry is very tough to get into. 5 Hour Energy, a local Michigan company, they've absolutely dominated. And I know one thing the CEO of the company does, or maybe he's just did the chairman of the board, is he has a wall in his office of all the failed 5 Hour Energy competitors, all the ones that went bankrupt. He has their bottles on his company or on his desk or on his wall, whatever. So, it's hard to make it in this industry. It's a very tough thing, but we'll see what Celsius does.
All right. Next earnings one on the docket. Jason Raznick stock, Asana, ticker ASAN. This one's up today. Nice little 6% run or so. Numbers that they had out, basically EPS, they're still unprofitable. Here, let me zoom this in. EPS are still unprofitable. They lost less money than expected. But more important for a stock like this, right? We're talking about a big growth stock. We want to see sales. We want to see them continuing to get customers, making more revenue, and they'll work on the margins later. But they had revenue $68 million versus a $63 million estimate. So some decent numbers there. And then if we look over at the guidance, so this is how much company Asana says it expects to make in the first quarter. They said they're going to make about $70 million versus $65 million estimate. So not blow away numbers by any means, but I mean, they're healthy, right? The stock's up, numbers are healthy. Here's a 2-day chart. Let's zoom it out to a month. Here's a 1-month chart. So we're getting a little bit of a pickup again after, again, this was one of the stocks that got caught up in all of that tech selling. So if you're in Asana, you followed the Raznick into that one. Congratulations. Did a good earnings report today. Drew, I don't know if you have anything else on this one.
No, nothing too concerning. Only thing I will say is they trade about the same price to sales, almost on the dot to Celsius, but they are a tech company, right? So their margins are much fatter. So just something to kind of put things in perspective.
Yeah, let's do this one really quick. So something that's interesting with or I guess not really interesting, but something to take note of as you're sort of valuing companies and you're thinking about one sector of companies versus another is the thing that investors really love and have shown, for decades that they're willing to pay more money for, right? They're willing to pay more for every dollar of revenue or every dollar of earnings or however we're thinking about it, is recurring revenue, right? These nice SaaS subscription models. What makes Asana such a fundamentally different company versus a Celsius is that all the Celsius revenue is transactional. It's one time, right? It's consumers going into a store, making a one-time purchase. It's a little bit more complex than that because you have distributors involved and who's going to carry the product and that sort of thing. But more or less, if you look at how the end consumer is buying their product, it's a one-time transaction that takes place, and then they've got to sell the product again and again and again. When you compare it to a company like an Asana, right, where it's a recurring revenue model, they have to sell it once, and they're selling it to a business rather than a consumer, which is typically a stickier revenue line. But they have to sell it once, and the business just keeps paying month after month after month after month after month. Is there risk that they can lose the customers? Yes, absolutely, right. Any business has risk that they'll lose a customer. But it's not like it's every single transaction you have to sell. You sell it once, then you just have to retain them. And so when Drew's talking about the higher margins, there's a couple things involved there. One is, you don't have to spend as much money to keep drumming up this business. The other thing too is that once you build the product, you can sell it an infinite number of times because it's a tech solution, right? You don't need to keep manufacturing cans and the beverage and shipping it. You build it once, you sell it 1 million times. So that's what I guess is a note to take when you're comparing, your ratios on like a software company versus a food and beverage type company.
That was awesome,
Cool.
Luke.
All right. So there's that one quick little lesson there. And we've got one more earnings stock. Let's do this one. The biggest one, AMC. Shout out AMC. That's right. One of the hot stocks. Let's pull this back. Here's a 3-month chart of AMC. Rip roaring. We'll look at the numbers real quick, but I've got a specific note that I want to point out with regard to AMC. Here you see they lost $3.15 versus $1.18 estimate. And this is actually going to take us to why I don't like the PE ratio. So we'll get to that in a little bit. And then they put up revenue of 159 million. So the numbers are whatever, right? The actual EPS and revenue numbers aren't that interesting. What's really interesting, the thing that a lot of people missed, and I want to make sure we point out to all of you out there in Zinger Nation, is that the CEO said they're through survival mode, right? They're no longer, the company is no longer in this place where are we going to survive or not, right? When you saw the stock price down to, let me look at this, $2 a share, sub $2 a share, the concern was, is AMC going to be around a year from now, right? That's what everybody was freaking out about. The CEO on the conference call specifically said, we're no longer in that survival mode. Is AMC still going to be a company 12 months from now? Instead, we're in the mode of recovery, right? We're on the upswing. Now we build back. And again, I think that comment is more important than any sort of numbers that they could have reported, because it's giving us that insight into, hey, if you're pricing in some sort of risk that they're not going to exist as a company, sure, maybe still price some of that, but pull that way back. Because the executive team is saying, hey, we're going to be around. We're not in this horrible, dire situation anymore. We just have to get back to where we were.
Yeah, what's interesting, right? Talking about price to sales here. What's cheap? What's expensive? AMC, 42, not 42.42, right? So it's kind of a dying company, as we all know. But from a value standpoint, is there some value there? Maybe. Is there value in oil? Maybe. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of got to look at this and say, like they're not doing great, but is there value because they're so beat up? They have been in the past, but now they're up quite a bit. So you can't just focus on one metric as well. I think, it's great to follow one and kind of get an understanding of where companies compare. Love these lit comments, but you got to also have, some fundamentals of what the company does, where they're going. Maybe they'll have some changes coming, but movie theaters is not something I want to have in my portfolio. What is your take on that, Luke? And then I got to go.
All right. Peace out, Drew. Thanks for hanging out with us. Again, while I'm in this risk off mode, I'm not going to be adding a stock like an AMC into the portfolio right now. There's too much volatility. You got too much of that pure trading with like a GameStop. But for any of you bulls out there, and I'm not even going to just say bulls on AMC, but I'm going to say bulls on entertainment, travel in general. The comments out of AMC are really good, right? If we click back over to the live portfolio, again, if you're new to the show, this is that my actual account. We look at it every single day. I don't know where they are, right? But if we go through the portfolio, we'll see that I own a handful of airlines, right? Here's Delta here as an example. I'm more convicted in my Delta position based off of what AMC is saying, because a lot of these companies, right, they're in different spaces, they're in different industries, but more or less the trend is the same. They had the same major problem to deal with, and that they need to get through. So I mean, I feel good that they're through it. All right. And I'll throw this one out there. Let's throw another one out to Zinger Nation, guys. If you guys like AMC right now, throw me the one in the chat. If you don't, throw the two. I'm not saying you have to be in the stock or short the stock, but let's say you had to make a decision one way or another. Hit the one, hit the two, and less importantly, but make sure you do it. Hit the like button, share the stream. Let's run the viewers up. Let's get this thing going, guys. And before I bring my next guest on here in a second, I want to give you a preview as to what we have coming up later in the day. So we are going to. All right, here's how we're going to do this, right? I'm always so ambitious with what I want to get through on a given day. We never have time to get through it all. So I'm just going to make some picks. Here's what we're going to be covering later in the show. So we are going to do covered calls. Okay, this is an option strategy. We're going to talk about covered calls, why I like them, how I pick which stocks to do them, and how to do the actual trade. So we're going to do that live example with covered calls. We are going to talk about PE ratio. I have a new page on Benzinga.com, right? Yesterday we went through the options page. I have a new page on Benzinga.com, a new tool that we built for all of you out there in Zinger Nation. I want to go through that page. Let's get some feedback going on that page. How do we make that page more useful for you? So we're going to do that. And we're going to be talking a little bit of sports betting later today too. How does that sound? And of course, guys, drop me your tickers in the chat. If you have stocks that you want to make sure we look at today, put them in there. We'll try to get through them. And the chat is, once again, pretty divided on the AMC like versus not like. Whew. But all right, guys, without further ado, I want to bring our first guest of the day with us on to the... There it is, our special guest video. Snehal Patel, CEO, Greenwich Life Sciences. Thanks for joining the Power Hour. Awesome to have you here.
Same here. Very nice to be here.
Absolutely. And how are things in your world today?
Very good. We're very excited to be able to talk to you and tell you about our story. Awesome.
All right, guys. So again, Greenwich Life Sciences, that's the company ticker. You have it there on the screen. GLSI. That's what we're going to be talking about. But Snehal, could you get us started and just give us a little bit of background on the company, and we'll go from there.
Sure. We did our IPO in September and then did a follow-on in December. So we've raised about $36 million this year, last year and into this year. So we're very bullish about our peptide. It's called GP2. It's part of the protein that is expressed in breast cancer patients. 75% of breast cancer patients express this protein. And we have a way to inject this peptide in your skin, in between your skin layers, and you get an immune response. So after a person has surgery, they get a product called Herceptin, and Herceptin helps to reduce the recurrence rate in half. And then we start our treatment after Herceptin treatment is finished, and we have shown that we are able to reduce the recurrence rate by another 50% to bring it down to 0. We've tracked these patients over 5 years, and over 5 years, their cancer hasn't come back. They have to get their first 6 vaccinations, and then they're fully protected. And so this is our phase 2 data that we announced in December. And now we're planning to start a phase 3 trial. We've got the manufacturing of the drug finished last fall, and hopefully in the next month, we're going to be able to put the drug into vials. Those vials will be the final vials that are shipped to the clinical sites. And then at the clinical sites, the clinicians at a handful of sites we'll start with will be ready to start treating patients in our phase 3 trial. And we expect all of this to happen sometime during the middle of this year to the end of this year. Everything will come together and we'll start enrolling our first patients.
Okay. And so let me try to recap and make sure I understand the story and correct me if I'm wrong. But basically, a patient gets treated, and then after they undergo their treatment, that's where you guys come in and you lower the recurrence rate of them, getting cancer again or ailment, etc.
Right. Unfortunately, the first alternative is surgery. So you have to remove the tumor, and usually you remove the breast. And then there's a wonderful antibody called Herceptin that has been very effective. It's been around for a long time, and many folks have probably heard of it. And you give that for a year, and you still have a 10%, 15% chance of the breast cancer coming back in some of these really patients that were sick before, even though the tumor's gone. And the breast cancer can come back. They're waiting 5 years. They're hoping it doesn't come back, but it does, for 10, 15% of the time. So our product stops it from coming back in combination with Herceptin. So it's really a combination of 3 things. It's the surgery, the Herceptin, and our product.
Okay. And then in terms of timeline, you said later this year is when commercial product will start shipping out to patients. Is that right?
No, the clinical product will be shipping out to clinical sites so we can start our phase 3 trial. So we announced our phase 2 trial data in December, and we're announcing in April more data about the immune response, which is how the immune system reacted to our treatment. And then we'll probably announce later this year safety data. And between those 3, the recurrence rate, the immune response, and the safety, you have the full set of data. And this year we'll start the phase 3 trial, which will still take some time. It'll take probably till 2024 till we get the readout from that trial. It'll be an interim analysis. This is all lingo in our industry, but in the end, when you get the data that reads out, you can file to market the drug. So your question is, when would we actually have commercial sales? And that would be in around 2024 or later.
Okay. And when you say you get the data, then you can file the drug, is that the new drug application?
Yes, that would be a biological application to the FDA for marketing approval. And if we're successful, you'd get to start marketing it. You'd still continue the trial to make sure patients still don't have the breast cancer come back. But because you had such good results up until the midpoint, so to speak, the FDA lets you market it.
All right. And we have some major fans in the chat. I'm reading the comments as you're talking. And we got people saying, hey, they're familiar with the product and it works wonders. You got people saying that they love the stock and they're in the stock for the long term. So that's great. But could you tell us a little bit about market size and opportunity? Yeah,
so the breast cancer market is very large. There's about 3 million current survivors of breast cancer. And we expect even just for the first narrow indication we'll have 17,000 new patients per year that will get treated. We'll save 1,000 to 2,000 lives per year. So the breast cancer is the largest cancer, and the people that express this protein that we're targeting are about 25% of that market. So it's 25% of a very big market. Our market will be similar to that of Herceptin's because we work with them. So we'll start up with maybe half of their size, but then we'll continue to grow as we expand to other patient populations. And this protein is expressed in other cancers also. So there's a chance we can try our product with some of the other therapies you can mix with it in the other cancers that express this HER2 protein.
Awesome. So it's not only, this market, which is obviously where the focus is, but potentially getting into to treat other cancers as well.
Exactly. And we have really good technology to identify those patients. So Genentech did an awesome job with the HER2 diagnostic technology. So you've got, now second, third generation technology to identify those patients. So it's really, this Herceptin was one of the best and most famous biotech products to come out, and we're just following in their footsteps.
Awesome. And we got a couple folks in the chat are asking about partnerships.
Okay.
So I'd be curious to hear how you're thinking about potential future partnerships. What would make a partner compelling for you guys, et cetera.
Well, we have started that process about a couple years ago, because for us, one of our funding opportunities was to do a partnership. And when you're going to a partner saying, we haven't started the trial, we haven't published our 5-year data, which we'll talk about shortly. When you don't have any of those things, you're not in a negotiating position of strength. What's happened since is soon we'll start the trial. We've now published the final 5-year data for the phase 2 trial, and we raised $36 million in cash, which gives us about $31 million today. So we have enough cash to get to the end of this interim analysis and get the licensing application from the FDA. If we don't want to raise more capital, we don't have to. So we're going to start to see the licensing transaction dynamics change. We'll see people coming to us wondering if they're not going to do something soon that they may miss out. And that will just change our leverage and our negotiating strategy. And we don't even need to do anything until after we have the data. So we can maximize our return by holding out longer if we needed to. Now, a lot of people like to see you do the licensing transaction as soon as you can, but the sooner you do it, the lower the terms. And we'd like to get as much as we can up front for the company. And then sometimes this morphs into an acquisition. Someone wants to license it, they're paying you enough up front, it becomes an acquisition.
Yeah, that's great. And then you said that the cash on the balance sheet, the $31 million, that will get you through the study. Yeah,
so we haven't reported our 10K, but if you added all the numbers up, the 36 million, subtract the fees to bankers and lawyers, you have about 32 million. And we started with a very low burn rate. Before the IPO, we had virtually no burn rate, and burn rate's still very low when we start the trial.
How is that? Can you explain that to me?
Before the IPO, the management team didn't pay themselves any cash. We are the ones who we own up to 75 to 80% of the company, and that's because going up into the IPO, we put our own money into it, and we didn't take cash. So we have a real clean structure, and we're just going to build the infrastructure we need to do this trial. We're not going to have a lot of headcount, and that's going to make this $31 million applied strictly to the trial and to the manufacturing, which is almost finished. So with the manufacturing finished, we're already ready to just focus on the trial.
That's great. And I want to dig in a little bit to what you're talking about, the management team. That seems like a really cool story right there. Had you all worked together previously? How did that come about?
Well, a lot of us are from the Houston area. We've known each other for a long time. So we're partners in investment, partners in how to do this. Joe Dougherty is our chief medical officer. He's been around the industry for a long time. He had his own biotech company. David McWilliams is our chairman. He's the chairman of Bio Houston in Houston. He knows the whole space. He's been CEO of 5 companies, 3 of them public. And then Jay Thompson, who we announced joined our company full-time this past Monday. And if you start to look at our stock price, you'll see what happened that day. She's an expert in running clinical trials and in interfacing with the FDA. She's run over 200 trials, been involved with so many FDA approvals and communications that she's going to take the cash we have and deploy it as efficiently as possible. Okay.
Yeah, and you mentioned, the Monday stock price on that news. I mean, crazy, right? I mean, 100% move there, super volatile trading. And if we zoom it further out, we have this collection of days right here, right in December.
Yeah.
So I'm curious from like a management standpoint, how you guys think about days when the stock is, I mean, it went from 5 to 150.
Right.
I guess what goes on those days, because it's they're sort of surreal moves.
Yeah, I mean, basically, we're on the phone with our attorneys and with our bankers, and we're just talking about what we're going to do next. Is this an opportunity to raise capital? And this is when the price moved up a little bit, and then you're just shocked. You just can't believe it went from 5 to 150 in one day. It came back down to 50 or 60 that day, but then it went back up to 100 the next day, and it was just an overwhelming response. And soon we started to get a lot of people contacting us in our inbox, doctors and patients. And that's where you really get impacted, because you're hearing personally from patients who've been affected, who want to get in on the trial. They just see the news and they don't read anymore, so they don't know that the trial hasn't even started, and they're asking how to be involved in the trial. So it's very emotional too.
Yeah,
It's been a very
I
emotional
believe it.
experience for all of us.
I would absolutely believe it. And then can you talk us through? I know we mentioned it, but could you just talk us through a little bit more deeply about the data that came out here? What does it mean? What does it inform for the future, et cetera?
So we put out a poster on December 9th at the San Antonio Breast Cancer Conference. I think your colleagues have one. If they put it up, it's an overview.
Can we get that up, Producer Rohan? There it is.
Very good. So that's a very complicated thing to look at on television, but if you focus on the chart in the middle, that's what got people excited. That's the it's called a Kaplan-Meier curve. And what it does is it compares the treated group to the placebo group. The table on the right, so we can zoom in on the table on the right, and that's hard to see too, but what happens there is you show people that both the treated arm and the placebo arm are well balanced. So you then go to the chart, which is the one that was in the center, and that will pop up there. So there you then start to say, okay, well, that means that there's no bias in the trial, and the data that you see is actually something that you could rely on if you go forward in the next trial. So what this top line shows, it's flat, is 100% disease-free survival, which means we had no recurrences over a full 5 years of treatment. And the 5 years means the median of all the patients together is 5 years. Some were 4, some were 6 or 7. The red line below it is the placebo curve, and that's about an 89% disease-free survival or 11% recurrence rate. So 11% of the patients did have their breast cancer come back, and it's metastatic when it comes back. It can be deadly. 80% of metastatic breast cancer patients don't survive, and the 20 that do survive are on drugs for a long time. So that curve is what was shown on that day. It took a little bit of time, but as soon as people saw it, they got very excited about the company and the stock.
Yeah, and in short, again, sorry, I'm the guy I'm known on the show for slowing everybody down, but that's what I do, just to make sure I understand it. Everybody out there watching understands it, but basically, in short, it shows that patients who are on the placebo, 7% of them got breast cancer again. Of the patients who are on your treatment, 0%.
Right,
got it.
11% got breast cancer again. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Absolutely amazing.
And that was over 5 years. So our goal is just to reproduce that in the phase 3 trial. We're not going to increase the size of the population or do anything crazy. We're just going to do exactly what conservative people would do who have something that they just want to reproduce. That's all we're doing. And that's why the hire on Monday, Jay Thompson, is going to make sure we don't do that. We're just going to make sure that we do exactly what we did in the phase 2 trial so we get the same result.
Amazing. And then the next date that we have to watch out for is in April, correct?
Correct. So that data I just talked about tells you the top line result, which is the clinical outcome. But when you vaccinate somebody and you give them this peptide, you can measure if they get an immune response. You can measure it many ways. So there's a lot of data behind how each patient responded to the drug they got, and that would be in the treated arm, as well as those in the placebo arm who got a placebo. So we're going to see a lot of that data in April at the American Association of Cancer Research conference. So that's one of the largest research conferences in the year in our cancer industry. So we'll be publishing data. It will be an abstract on April 9th, and then a poster on April 10th, which will discuss this information. The immune response is kind of the mechanism of action. It explains how the drug works. And you'd want to see it working in parallel to the clinical outcome, and then you have the complete story.
Awesome. And I want to take one more question out of the chat. So somebody's asking if age matters, if patients respond differently based on age.
Well, we didn't have any patient recur.
Okay.
So one of the unfortunate things is we can't.
But was there a
look at-
specific age range that you targeted, or
Yeah, so it was probably from 18 up to 60 or so. So it's pretty much the entire range. We didn't exclude anyone.
Okay.
So yeah, there's no age range restriction.
Awesome. And then I'll let you go in a minute here. But anything else we should be thinking about, we should be talking about, etc.
No, other than, MD Anderson led the phase 2 trial. We're working with Baylor College of Medicine in Houston, which is an excellent teaching institute, to lead the phase 3 trial. So if there are any patients that are interested, please be patient till we start the trial, and then talk to your doctor and ask your doctor if you're eligible, and then they know how to contact the clinicians who will be running the trial. So just a shout out to all the investors and all the patients who responded to our data. You've touched us, so we're going to do the best thing we can to stick with this all the way through and see if we can reproduce our phase 2 trial data.
Awesome, Sneal. Well, thank you so much for joining the Power Hour. Again,
Sure.
I mean, we got so many positive comments in the chat. Already saying I'm either in this one or I'm about to get in it. I love the fact that you and the management team own so much of the company. You paid yourselves with stock rather than cash to get this thing going. A really amazing story, really promising data. So thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. We're very excited. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, guys. And one more time, that ticker is GLSI. GLSI. See, I got it running across the bottom there. So you can check that one out. All right. Let's keep it clipping, guys. Things that we have up on the docket today. So if you're just tuning in, we already covered Roblox and GME. I'm sure that we will get back to them today, right? How could you not? How could you ignore those stories? So we'll get back. We'll touch on those ones. We'll do some General Electric later today. We're gonna do covered calls. And then we've got a couple of awesome guests coming on. We're gonna be Jason Raznick being one. What's up? Welcome.
Camera's way too close to me, but it's okay.
You look good.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah. So we got some Tesla moving up today. Let's talk about TAST, Luke. I guess I should pull it up in Pro right now.
We got to do Tesla. Okay. I'll pull up TAST if you promise me that we'll go back to Tesla after it had like a 100-day move.
Yeah, I got
$100 move.
Yep, 100-day move would be cool. So
100-day move would be cool.
And then what about, we got to talk VISL, because VISL, that's an Atlas, boys. Remember I bought that? I end up picking up more shares. I'm like, you know what? I'll believe in the Atlas guy. So I bought more shares.
Back the truck up.
Yeah.
Hold on.
And I got so many stocks right now to talk to you guys about. I don't know what to do. If you're not here on this show, you're crazy. I don't even get it. There's 745 people here. I don't know. Like, all right. And API up 10% today. This is easy pickings. So TAST, we bought it at 185. I said I'm keeping it for at least a year because in March 15th is when my year thing comes up due. So total gain.
Here's your 1 year chart.
So I bought 9,000 or 10,000 shares at 149.
So it was a good trade.
Yeah.
5xer. Let's go.
Yeah. So it's 4% of my portfolio. But like, having said that, Tesla used to be 46% of my portfolio. Now it's down to 34%. I've been making trades and moving around. And
guys, check out if you're not in this Carol's Restaurant group, that this is ticker TAST. Check out this 750 level. Right, this is a 1 year chart. Each candle on this chart represents 1 day. So each little green bar, red bar is 1 day. You got 1, 2, 3, sort of 4, 5. Now 6 times where the stock is trying to run up to 750. So if you're looking for a break, there's your line. I mean, it doesn't get more clear than that.
Okay, we got to talk about one more, Luke, and then we'll get back to my trades. TMBR, Timber Pharmaceuticals.
Timber.
It was formerly
Didn't you say that every time you talk about the stock?
Oh yeah, I've been saying that all day. Last night at home, I was saying to Stacy, watch out for some timber today. And timber is moving like crazy today. 49%, Luke. Okay, take that to the bank.
All right, let's do a quick little news check. Wow, No news, no press releases, no SEC filings. All right, it's just running.
What? Let me go.
It's running and gunning.
Anything? Okay. No, come on. There's some stuff.
Damn,
right?
son, where'd you find this?
That's appropriate.
Okay.
All right, can we do Tesla, please?
Let's go Tesla, dog. Let's go Tesla, dog.
All right, here's Tesla. Here's a 5-day chart. So we look at the very bottom of this chart, 538. Again, this is the 6th biggest stock in the country, not in the world, but in the country. I almost said world. And look at this move that it had from 538 to 689 in like 3 days.
All right. I had my call with my Tesla guy, who I actually think I may get on the show. He talked for an hour and 10 minutes today. Gave me everything you could possibly imagine. We are up 120% on those Tesla calls. April 9, 645 calls, and the May 21st, 675 calls. So we are up a bunch. I still have a couple puts in place too to hedge. Those are down 40%, but the calls are up 130%. So I guess it makes up for it. I'm keeping the hedge in place just in case. So.
And are you keeping the calls as well? So you own a lot of stock.
I sold one of the calls yesterday. I'm keeping the calls as well for a little bit. Yeah. I think we're going to hit 720 sooner than later. I actually find it's funny. We should bring on Gordon Johnson today. He talked about the Tesla price cuts. Well, I don't know if you heard the news last night. Tesla increased the Model S Plaid Plus by 10,000, increased the S by 1,000. I mean, I don't know how that goes into his calculation. So, but yeah, that's a story. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's Benzinga Pro. I know we have a guest, VIR. That's Benzinga Pro, OCGN, and they're saying in the chat, Luke,
and Benzinga Pro, real quick, pro.benzinga.com, pro.benzinga.com. It's what we use every single day for our news, our charts. It's how we're analyzing the markets. 2 weeks free. 2 weeks. Check it out for free. There's literally no reason not to. Unlike markets, it's guaranteed that if you don't like it after 2 weeks, you don't have to pay anything. But all right, keep going, Jason.
So in the chat, they're talking about this timber being a squeeze. Benzinga Pro, I think, is doing an item right now. I think Ripster just had a tweet about it, and Atlas guys may be in it. So I don't know how they. Oh, and then I picked up some more of that. I hope they still like it, but I picked up more of what is it? Vissel, yeah, Vissel.
Vislink Technologies. Here's the 5-day on that one. Beautiful chart.
Yeah, so I picked up some more Vislink 2 days ago.
Yep, I'm still in that one too.
My buy originally was like at 490, so I went down to 280. So we're up. But
so wait, so your average price is down to 280 on it?
No, average price now is down to 310 or something. I got to go back to it.
Okay, I'm still right. I'm at average price 460, so I'm down 23% on mine.
My average price is like 428. Okay, and so and then one more stock. I get asked about this like DMs, Twitters, and I just rather just do it here. BTN, Luke. It's not that liquid, so I'm not telling you guys to trade it, but I still own it. They're in the digital space. They have digital space. That's the funniest thing ever. It's like they breathe. They're in the digital space. Okay, sorry. They have like billboards and some other stuff. Good management behind it. I still like it. It's 3% of my portfolio, but that's also, it's only up 10% of my portfolio. I still think it'll have room to run. I own some calls and stock, but this is one that if you ask me 3 weeks from now, do I own it? Yes. Do I own it 6 weeks from now? Yes. I may sell some off if it gets to like $6 then, which it could. So that's my take on that one. I also picked up more AQMS, which is, I'll do those later. Luke, do you have the guest you have to do now? Is that I can talk because I have an open show that I think my guest I'm not doing today, so I can talk my portfolio later. Cool. How I treat it, if you want, whatever the Zinger Nation wants. But Zinger Nation, go tell your friends to come join here. I'll show you
and go smash the like button yourself too. Tell your friends to smash the like button.
Yeah, and I'm liking this. Michael Horton guy at Benzinga.
There we go. Shout out Michael
Um,
Horton. He's from the show, actually. Show listener. Now a Benzinga team member. There we go. But all right, Jason, you said you got more stocks to talk in a little bit.
Yep. And you have a guest.
So we're going to get back to that, guys. We have a very exciting special guest for us today. Let's roll the video. Don Davis here joining us live on the Power Hour. Beautiful background you have. I might add. I would like to look at that forest. Got a very industrial look here. Yes. But guys, if you don't know Don, he's the founder of Pro Fighting League. We're going to be talking gambling. We're going to be talking some investment strategy. But Don, thank you so much for joining us today.
Great to be here, guys. Thanks.
Absolutely. And so for those of us, or for those out there who aren't familiar with PFL, can you just take us through the company and then also, what was your motivation to start it?
Absolutely. Look, I started the Professional Fighters League the day that UFC sold because I saw a sport that should be in MMA. We all watch football. We all watch basketball. We all watch football. What does that mean? Regular season, playoff, and championship. Win in advance, transparency, lose and go home. But that's not MMA. MMA is a promoter. In that case, Dana White chooses who's number one and number two and sets people up. That's great entertainment. That's great in the boxing world.
Yep. Oh, Don, I lost you.
You.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep, there you go. You're back.
What if in basketball this year, the Utah Jazz, which is great, Adam Silver said, you know what? You don't have enough social media following. You're not that interesting. You're on the West Coast. You're not going to make the playoffs and you're not going to make the championship this year. Well, that's not what sport is. The PFL brings the meritocracy and the sports season format, win in advance. So that's what we do. We start with the fighters and the fighters win and they advance. You win 4 times, you're the champion. It's March Madness meets MMA. And April 23rd, we start our 3rd season on ESPN and in 160 countries around the world to see who the best fighter is, period.
Okay. I love it. And then in terms of how the business model actually works, I imagine that that's also different than UFC.
Very similar to the NBA.
Okay.
The PFL is a league. So we have media rights paid by ESPN, media rights paid by 30 media companies around the world in 160 countries. We have sponsors and advertisers like IBM, Geico, Anheuser-Busch. We also have gambling companies that pay us for our data feed. So it's very similar to owning the NBA. We don't have teams. We're just a centrally controlled league.
Awesome. And you touched on something that's been really hot in the investment world recently. And I heard you talking about this in some other interviews you've done, but tell us about the gambling angle, how users can engage with the competitions as they're going on, et cetera.
Yeah, look, starting April 23rd, fans will be able to do something with the PFL that you normally can't do. Real-time prop bets. So what will be the hardest punch in this round? What will be the top leg kick in this round? Will this round end in under 1 minute on a takedown? So you'll be able to not only bet winners and losers, but real-time changing prop bets on your mobile phone. Why we're able to do that is we work really closely with the fighters. There's not an onerous union. We also do our own television production. So as soon as we're able to innovate, we can do it quickly. So you'll have the most innovative, most exciting prop bets starting April 23rd, real time on PFL.
Okay, wait. So let me ask you this: what's the most unique prop bet that you're expecting to be available, and what's the one that you're most excited about?
If we gave away all the mystery, no tuning in on April 23rd. But look, suffice it to say that PFL has always been the most innovative. We have the PFL Smart Cage. So we have chips in the glove, which measures everything from heart rate to distance traveled to top punch. Throughout the year, every single fight will be adding new prop bets. So as it becomes interesting to wager on, you'll get it.
Okay, that's awesome. And like I heard before, like top heart rate is something that you'll be able to place a bet on and that sort of thing.
Yeah, look, we're even introducing this year something called the damage meter. Damage inflicted, damage absorbed. Think of it as a gamification. I think by the end of this year, that's something you'll be able to bet on. You'll be able to see it visually on the screen.
Okay, yeah, that's exciting. And then how do users do it? You said a mobile phone app. I'm imagining it's an app that you guys have that users will download, or how exactly does that work?
We'll be announcing in 2 weeks all of our betting partners in the United States and internationally, and we'll be able to tell you more about that then. But everything will start April 23rd, and we have our partners in place, and we'll be announcing it with them shortly.
All right, that's exciting. See, I'm here in Detroit, Michigan, where you recently just signed a star out of Michigan. But I'm here in Detroit, Michigan. We recently just got sports betting. And it was the first time I'd ever like placed prop bets was on the Super Bowl. And I will say it definitely made for a more engaging game for me.
I went to law school at University of Michigan. I'm a big alum with you guys. So
go blue. All right. Some U of M representing.
There. Yeah, absolutely representing. So look, gaming is just in the first or second inning because a lot of people don't really understand how exciting it makes, every pitch or every round of a fight. And it's not just diehards. It's going to be for everybody. And it's not just big money. It's $5 or $1. It's very social with your friends. And PFL has always been the most innovative in combat sports, whether it's MMA or boxing. We're the first to bring the ref cam where you see a knockout. This year, we're the first to bring the walkout cam where you follow the fighter and hear what he has to do to win this fight. So yes, gambling is a big innovation, but there'll be a ton of innovations to take you inside the cage and give you access, which is what all of us as true sports fans love and want.
Absolutely. And I got to go back when you brought up the University of Michigan Law School. If you guys are ever visiting Ann Arbor, Michigan, that's where University of Michigan is, go check out that law campus. It's the most beautiful place I've ever seen. But when I was an undergrad there, I studied there almost exclusively. I mean, it looks like Hogwarts, basically.
It's a great place to be as long as you're not doing law school.
There you go. See, you just got to do the undergrad route and just go in their buildings. That's what I did. But all right, Don. So you're an early investor in AOL, DraftKings, BigCommerce, and others. Obviously, some very successful investments. I'm curious. Share with us some of your principles that you use. What guides you when you're looking to make an investment, et cetera?
Yeah, look. All together with partners, we're the first to buy an esports team. Also, we bought Team Liquid 4 years ago before esports were hot. We're the early investors in Sport Radar, which is all in the news now when it was only 500 million valuation. Look, you always look for really three things. Huge market. It's been underserved and it's had no innovation. You always have to have a great product and a great management team, but is it a huge market that's been really underserved and no innovation? And candidly, that's what's always driven my career. And even though I was a huge sports fan, really a baseball and football fan, not a big MMA fan, although I am now, that's what drove me to start the Professional Fighters League the day that UFC was sold. Because you know what you see? 550 million fans. I had no idea. That's the third biggest fan base after only soccer and basketball in the world. I had no idea. I thought it was smaller than that. Number two, how underserved is this? UFC gives that 550 million fans 40 events a year. There's 6,000 basketball games. There's 2,200 soccer matches. But 40 MMA events? And number three, no innovation. They've been holding a single camera. They haven't been innovating at all. It still looks like boxing in the 1950s. So we really serve this 18 to 35-year-old fan with the next generation product and the sports season format. So to me, whether it's when I went to AOL, in the late 90s or did esports 40 years ago, it's big market, underserved. How do you have an innovative, disruptive product?
Okay, I love it. So the three principles: huge market, not being served enough. I love like that 5.5 million or the fan number compared to the 40 events versus the 6,000 for basketball, and then just no innovation in it. And so you just mentioned you weren't an MMA fan before you got this going. So I want to dig into that founder story a little bit. Like, okay, you decide that this is something that looks compelling. How do you go about actually executing it and making that first step to build a big business?
Yeah, look, I've either been an investor or an entrepreneur, both sides of that fence, in dozens of companies. The advantage of being 58 is you've seen a lot of models and a lot of different products. What works, what doesn't. And you borrow from each. And you be very aggressive building that company. But first of all, you focus on the fan or the consumer. So I said, if I were an MMA fan, what would I want? What would be the most exciting product? And that's what we've given them. So every innovation's been driven toward the MMA fan. So I said I would want to know how I become champion, and I would want to see true transparency. I wouldn't want somebody to game the system. And then I said I'd want a super cool product. I'd want to see the hardest punch on the screen. I'd want to see camera angles from the refs and the corner angles. So we start fan first, consumer first, and that's driven everything we've done from the very beginning. And that's given us the explosive growth to be the number 2 MMA company in only 3 years.
Yeah, so super impressive. And then I'm curious too. Is it a similar story like that you tell to the audience that you also tell to the fighters? Like, hey, here's why you should come with us versus going to some other organization.
Well, fighters are just like any other top athlete, whether it's basketball, football, or MMA. They really want 3 things, and we listen to them. 1, they want to make the most money. 2, they want to compete on the biggest stage. And 3, they want to control their own destiny. Well, that's what we give them in the PFL. We give them the opportunity to make as much or more than at the UFC. Number 2, PFL is on ESPN primetime and with the number 1 or number 2 media outlet in 160 countries. So same as UFC. And the most important is number 3. You know how you become champion. It's called win 4 times in a row, raise belt, get $1 million check. In the UFC, you don't know how to become champion. There's politics, there's social media, there's jockeying. There's a lot. It's a circuitous path. And if you're an athlete, whether you're LeBron James or an MMA fighter, how do I control my destiny to become champion? And that's how we recruited Kayla Harrison. She's a 2-time judo gold medal winner, and she's probably the number 2 MMA fighter in the world right now, trailing only Amanda Nunes. We said, Kayla, control your destiny. Don Davis doesn't decide anything other than signing you. After I sign you, the world is yours. Everything that you can do, I'm going to facilitate for you. That's our pitch to fighters. Control your destiny. Help us enable how great you can be and how much money you can make, period.
Okay, I love it. And then, you know, from the audience standpoint, you said April 23rd. That's when we're going live, right? We'll be able to do the prop betting for it. And you hinted there's going to be announcements coming out before then, or is April 23rd the date that we're going to get everything?
No, you'll hear all about the prop bets in early April from us, and all about our partners in early April.
Okay. All right. There it is. And then I loved the investing advice. I love how you talk about getting the business started, recruiting the athletes. Any final words of wisdom you can leave us with?
No, look, depending on what the audience is, always look for a big market. There's a lot of big markets out there, and always look for growth and always look for innovation. And there's plenty of it, whether you're 70 or 7 or 17, right? Whatever you're doing in life, whether it's your career or your investing life, big market, innovation, and growth, and you can't go too wrong. Okay, I love it. All right, guys, there it is. Don Davis here with us, joining the Power Hour, taking a little bit of a different angle. Right, Don, we always talk stocks and what are the swing trades and that sort of thing. And when we saw your story, I thought it was super compelling, super interesting, the innovation you're bringing to the market. So we're really glad you could join us here today. Hey, thanks very much. And appreciate great show. April 23rd, ESPN. See a innovative MMA product, PFL. All right, guys, April 23rd. I'll be checking it out. And don't worry, I will remind you. I'll put a note down on the 22nd to remind you guys it's the next day. Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Thanks, Don. All right, guys. How about that? Pretty neat concept there. Right. I love let's go over the investing tips too. And again, Don was an early investor in AOL, DraftKings, BigCommerce, among others. The investing advice was look for the big market, figure out how underserved that market is, and identify whether or not it's had innovation. So the example that he gave, right, with MMA and then UFC is, it's a massive market. They've proven that there's a ton of fans out there. There's only 40 events a year versus the 6,000 for the basketball. And then innovation, it still looks the same as a 1950s boxing match. So awesome. I love all this positive chatter too. It looks like we may have converted some fans out there in the chat. So hold on. There it is. Air horns, all you guys. I'll be checking it out. Very, very neat there. So,
All right, guys, keeping us clipping down our agenda for the day. I believe Jason is going to tease us with a couple of stocks that he has on his radar that he's talking about. I want to get to GE, General Electric, and I also want to do covered calls. Talk about why we like them, how they help us, especially like I mentioned before earlier at the top of the show. I'm a little bit more conservative, right? We had a really rippy market for quite a while now. I had some very red days over the past 2 weeks, and I couldn't stomach the risk, right? It was enough risk that it was distracting for me. And somebody saying in the chat they want to invest in the company. What's the ticker? It's not public yet. Stay tuned. If it goes public, when it goes public, we'll definitely let you guys know. You'll be on top of it. But all right, let's start it off with covered calls. This is one I asked the group yesterday. I said, do you want us to hit covered calls? We ran through it super quick yesterday. So let's go over it again. Somebody saying no Ford. We could do more Ford. Maybe we'll get the Ford. We do Ford literally every day, trying to change it up, trying to bring new stocks, trying to bring new ideas. Okay, that's why I didn't have Ford on there. If we all right, let's use this as a signaling. If the light count instantly jumps from this 197 that we're at now up to 200, then we'll go ahead and we'll do Ford. And again, like I teased at the beginning of the show, I have a new page on benzinga.com to show you guys. So we'll be getting to that as well. But all right, here's the deal with covered calls. Okay, so let's take a stock in the portfolio. I'm going to go ahead, open up the live portfolio that we look at every single day here. There it is. All right. So let's find a stock that we'd be okay not owning for a while. Let's do Visa. So all right, here's shares of Visa, right? We own Visa in the portfolio, right? It's who disliked the stream? Yeah, what an asshole. But all right, so here's Visa. We own it in the live portfolio, right? We just own the stock outright. I've had it for quite a while. And right now, as it stands, with just owning the stock sits there, the stock goes up in price, I make some money, the stock goes down in price, I lose some money, but that's the deal, right? It's just like any of us just owning common stock. There it is. I think we all have an idea as to how that works. So covered calls are a strategy that you can layer it on top of a stock that you own to generate some income off of that stock. You can basically manufacture your own dividend. And so let me explain how this works, and then we'll do it together. We'll do a live example. I don't necessarily want to sell covered calls against Visa right now, but for the sake of the group, we're going to do it. When you do a covered call, what you're doing is you're selling a call option, right? So if we talk about buying a call option, you're basically paying for the right to acquire a share of stock at some point in the future at some predefined price. I'm going to say that one more time, a little bit more slowly. So if we were to go ahead and buy a $240 call on Visa, it would probably cost us maybe, $3, $4, something around there that we're putting up. And what we can do is we can buy shares of Visa for $240 at some point in the future. So if shares of Visa go up to $300, then we can buy shares for $240. We keep that $60 in the middle, right? Great deal if the stock is going up for you. And again, keep in mind the main mechanism there, right? Is if we buy that Visa $240 call option, we have the right to buy shares of Visa from somebody for $240. When you sell a call option, it's the exact opposite mechanism, right? You are promising somebody that you will sell them shares of Visa for that $240, regardless of price, right? The price could be $10,000. You still have to sell it for $240. So that's how it works when you sell a call. But you also get something else. Instead of somebody paying you, for the right to buy your shares, when you're selling it, you're getting paid to grant that person that right. Okay. So let's pull up the option chain on Visa. Let's scroll up to the top here. All right. So let's go to our little search bar. Ticker V. I love our one letter tickers. All right, let's do a refresh. We had the same problem yesterday. All right, ticker V for Visa. Come on now. There it is. All right. So here's Visa. We're going to go over to the option chain. All right. And again, I own shares of the stock. And for the sake of this example, let's pretend that we own 100 shares of the stock. Because each option, right, each call contract that we're going to be talking about today represents 100 shares. So here's the option chain on Visa. Let's go out. Let's go out to the next monthly. So we're going to go 1 month forward, right? I typically go somewhere around a month forward when I'm doing this. And let's scroll through the option chain. And here's the $240 strike. So shares of Visa right now are trading at $227 a share. And we see these options, they're out 1 month from now for $240. Okay. So again, if you were to buy this call option, you say at some point in time within the next 36 days, I'm granted the right whenever I want to buy shares of Visa for $240 per share. What we're going to do when we sell this call option is we're going to give somebody the opportunity to buy these shares, lift them off of our hands for that $240. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to open this up. I'm going to sell. We're going to sell one option, and we see the price here, $2.72. So the second that we sell this option, right, the order goes through, we're going to get $2.72 times 100 because 100 shares are represented. So we're going to get $272. And then the only risk that we're taking on when we do this is that we may have to sell shares of Visa for $240 at some point in the future, which I'm fine with, right? That's still a decent jump above where I own the stock at. And this is not a stock that I own because I'm expecting it to triple, right? If Visa triples, we have bigger problems in the world, right? So something has fundamentally changed with our financial system if the share price of Visa just goes ahead and triples, okay? So again, because it's a stock that I own, I want a nice, steady growth play. It's one of those stocks that's gone up forever. It doesn't mean it's going to go up forever, but it has gone up forever. And it's sort of, again, one of those safer, when I talk about higher quality stocks, it's one of those that sit in the portfolio. And so, because there's a chance that it could go above 240, but I don't think it's going to 500. It's a good stock candidate to sell calls against. Because again, the investment thesis is not, hey, this stock is a two-bagger in 2 months. The investment thesis is, hey, I own this stock because I want it to residually increase in price over time. Okay, and I mentioned this covered call strategy is sort of like creating your own dividend, right? I'm looking 30 days out and selling the call against this, and I'm going to get paid $272 for doing that, right? I can do that every single month because we're looking a month forward, right? So if I do this every single month, 272 times 12 is now $3,300. So I'm essentially getting paid $3,300 to own this stock. And again, the risk that I'm taking on is that I may have to sell the stock at some point in the future at a higher price than what it's trading for now, which is something that I'm fine with. And somebody in the chat's asking, they're saying, there's risk of unlimited loss. There's not. That's the difference between selling a naked call and selling a covered call. When you sell a covered call, I already defined what the risk is. The risk is you have to sell it at 240. You already own the shares, right? You sell a naked call, then your risk is unlimited. But when you already own the stock and you're selling calls against it, you're defining your risk. You're in charge of it, okay? And the risk that I'm taking on is I might have to sell the stock at 240 when it's trading at 227 right now, okay? And again, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to place this order right now. Again, we're selling one call. There it goes. It's out there. It's filled, right? Yep, there we go. It's filled. So I just got $272 transferred into my account right now. Great. We'll take that. Hit the cash. And then again, if Visa goes up in price to 250 and I have to sell it at 240, great. I get paid again. Another $13 per share that I just made. So that's the deal there, guys. Any questions on that? Drop them in the chat. I know a ton of people. We did it really quickly yesterday, and a ton of people were asking, to go over it again a little bit more slowly today. So there it is. Question from Kyle in the chat. Let me throw this up here on the screen. Kyle's asking, do you let it expire or close it before expiration? Typically, I'll close it before expiration because you're going to find out if you're winning or losing right up until that point. If I'm winning on the trade, and I've already made 95% of what I can make. And the way you define what you make is based on the price of the option, right? We just sold it for $2.72. If the price of the option drops down to, 5 cents, which is good for us because again, we're selling it. The price drops down to 5 cents. Just close that out. No reason to have that risk open, right? There could be a black swan event that causes it to trigger. So that's why a lot of times I'll close them. Good. Cool. All right. So a couple more questions. Do you own this stock right now? Yes, I do own Visa right now. You don't roll it? A lot of keep it going every month. That was the example we gave, right? We make $272 today. We can keep doing this every single month, and we're basically manufacturing our own dividend, right? We're getting paid $3,000 a year to own the stock. And then somebody's saying, so if I have 100 shares and I sell a call, that automatically makes it a covered call. Is there a special designation? No. You own the 100 shares, you sell the call, automatically it's a covered call. You don't have to do anything different or special in your portfolio. How do you close it? The way that you close it is the same way you close any stock trade, right? You buy it back, right? We sold one, we have to buy it back to close it. And then another question, what happens if the stock price goes to 235? We're thrilled. If the stock is at 235 a month from now, because we have a 1 month expiration on this, we're thrilled. So we not only got paid the $272 to sell the call option, our stock price also appreciated, right? The stock went from 227 to 235, and we own the stock. So that means we're really making money. We made $8 a share, right? And we made $272 for selling the call. So that's great. And somebody's saying, is there a book you recommend to read? I'm not going to recommend a book, but I am going to recommend a good friend of Benzinga. I'm going to point you guys towards the guy that I actually learned options from. He's a partner with us here at Benzinga. His name is Nick Shaheen. He is, in my opinion, the options master. I do webinars with him every other weekend, and he's amazing. So I'm going to link in, put this link in the chat. There you go. Here's a link to his product. I just spammed it in the chat a little bit. And so what he does is he runs a really cool product with us where basically he gives trade ideas and then also does the education behind it, right? Like he'll say, hey, an idea is to buy this Ford call. Shut up, Ford. And then he'll say, here's how I think about that. Here's what gets me to that decision. And so it's like you're learning in a very hands-on fashion. Again, link, just dropped it in the chat. There is a 2-week refund window. So if you buy it, you don't like it, you can get your money back. But go ahead and check that out. And I see the Razman is here with us again. I don't know if he's ready yet and wants. Yep, there he is.
Yeah. This is what I was doing. I thought can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes the audio, like on the guest, the audio wasn't perfect. We need to make sure if you can't hear someone, we got to say something, or they should test it before. Right? Like that guy. He
sounded okay to me. What was it? Was it quiet for you or what?
Yeah, you were louder. I mean, I could hear him. It was fine. I just
we were mismatched. You're saying?
Yeah, it was a mismatch type thing. But I thought your explanation just now was awesome. I actually sold puts in Tesla a couple of days ago live on the show, which are doing great for me. I sold like 580 puts or 560.
So you're probably up 90% on that trade.
Yeah, let's go. I'll check in a second. I'm up $3,000 on that one trade. But let's check it.
There we go.
And by the way, I was controlling your soundboard one day when you said, why is Aaron Bry keeping that, or why is producer Rohan keeping that audio thing? It was me. It was me doing it because I can control your soundboard from my iPhone. Okay, how cool is that? I can control your soundboard from my iPhone. That is Rohan's probably greatest creation here. I
Yep.
love it because I didn't know if you knew.
Until
All right.
he has a child, that will be his greatest creation.
All right. So I sold the March 19th 620 puts. So they are up 42%. I sold 2 of them. So I sold the March 19th 620 and 600 puts is what I sold. 620 and 600. Okay. So my question to you is, yeah, I don't know if I'm in the money right now, but I'm up 40% or 42% on them. If they don't, so by March 19th, if nothing happens, I just keep that money that I sold, right? I don't have to do anything, correct?
If the stock, you said 620 is the strike price, right?
620 and 600, 620 and 600.
So if the stock price is above 620 by that expiration date, then you just keep the money that you sold them for. You take it to the bank and throw it into something else. Yeah, you're not on the hook
Okay.
for anything, etc.
And now if the price is at 590, then what?
If the price is at 590, then you have to buy the stock for 620 and 600.
Yep. And I already own the stock. So
you own more of the stock.
Or I just give them those shares, right?
No.
Okay. So
Nope,
I have to buy.
You have to buy. Yep.
Okay. All right. So that is good. Now, what I was doing during the thing a little bit. So I was doing, let me share my screen. And I know you have to leave in a minute, right?
Yep. I got to pop off in, like 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Let me show you what I was doing, Luke.
All right, cool.
We got about 1,000 people here. So I'm going to show you what I was doing. I was editing some of our job ads. So here's our job ads. I'm sure Sharon doesn't like that I'm showing this. I finally got access to this yesterday. This is where I can go in and I'm like not full admin, which I feel like I should be, but I'm not. Like it takes me a while to find it. So when I go here, it takes me like 5 clicks. The only job ad I actually see, watch, I'm into my account. That's all I see. That's it. So then I have to like figure out how to go to like, now you got me lost again. Darn it. I don't know how to get back there. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So I was editing the job ad. So if you're in the financial space, you like business development, we have this job here that we license to the, you name the brokerage. We work with most of them. And this is not the page I wanted to take you to, but the job ad page is what I want to take you to. So I just changed it because it said licensing sales. But at the end of the day, it's a relationship building. All this stuff is relationship building. And so check out our, jobs.benzinga.com. This is another place you can look at it or go to this page, but jobs.benzinga.com where you can apply for some of these positions. We are hiring aggressively and growing. We're looking ahead of video, ahead of different areas. And I'll get to stocks in a second, but I was working on the descriptions, which I don't even know how to go open now.
Link is in the chat, guys. Jobs.benzinga.com. Put it there for you.
I don't know how I got in before, Luke. Really annoying. Okay. That's when you're clueless about stuff like I am right now. Oh, edit position. Right there.
At least
I got
you know
it.
about stocks.
Yeah, I know about stocks. So I just edited the position, It's exciting. There's exciting stuff going on here, guys. There's exciting stuff. If you're driven and you have experience and you want to impact the outcome, then Benzinga is a place for you. But if that's not you, then Benzinga is not a place for you. Okay, I'll get off the promotion stuff. So Luke, do you have to go? Because I'm going to show some of my trades and all that kind of stuff.
Yep, I'm gonna hop.
Wait, Luke. Jay Rice says you're wrong. I can buy back the puts at a loss.
Yeah, so you don't have to buy the stock. You can close the option trade. Anytime you enter an option trade, you don't have to sit on it until expiration. You can always close the trade just like you can close a stock trade. If you own stock, you can sell it. Buy an option, you can sell it. You sell an option, you can buy it back any given time.
Yeah, okay, got it. Okay. So exactly that, and I know that. Okay. So Luke, get out of here. I will do our stuff and I will talk to you later.
All right. Peace out, guys. Happy trading. Have some fun today. Market's ripping, and I will talk to y'all later.
All right. All right. So guys, I'm going to share my screen in a little bit. 1 second. I'll share my screen for you all in 1 minute so you can see some of my holdings. Yeah, so if you're in Canada, you don't need to move to Detroit. I'm not sure what gave you the idea you need to move to Detroit. If you're in Canada, maybe you can go sell to the Canadian brokerages, Bank of Montreal, BMO. There's tons of banks, tons of brokerages in Canada that we don't work with. Well, you don't need to be here to do that. So, Luke, where can we find you on YouTube or social media? Luke's Twitter is Luke Jacobi, LukeJacobi. It's in the YouTube chat. You got to be careful selling puts on X dividend date. Tesla doesn't have an X dividend date, but yeah, then you have to pay it out or something. So here, let me go pull up my account since someone said I don't know what he said. So let me pull up my account. Here we go. This is one of my accounts. I have 5 brokerage accounts. The one that I do for the show is an E-Trade account. I think it's the easiest for me to demonstrate. I know. Bank of Montreal and BMO are the same. I know. I was trying to think of another bank. I couldn't think of one at the time. Exactly, but that's why we need people in Canada. We have Questrade. We work. What'd you say, Luke? CIBC Bank. I mean, there's a lot of these places. If you want to get our news and data there, you reach out. You can be a business development person. Doesn't have to be a whole thing. TD, go reach out to TD and say you would love Benzinga News on their platform. That would help in a big way. A big way. Can you guys help us in a big way? All right. So let me share my screen. So Armin, great. So come on, work on the business development team. Reach out. Say you have Benzinga News and data. I mean, if you pull up Webull, you pull up any brokerage or a lot of them, you'll see us. You'll see us. But it really takes hustlers and relationship builders. It's not the ones that like come to the office and like sit there and like chat and play with their pens and play with these pens. You really got to focus in. And what I say is, if you want to be successful in life, find someone and see what they do. And then it's so like, there's no tricks to being successful. Like there are tricks, I guess, but you just have to do it. It's like copy what they do. So Luke started here as an unpaid intern. Luke is the man. Like he's the man. So what do I advise some people to do is copy what Luke does. So Luke writes everything down on a list, everything. If I say anything, he won't forget. He'll write it down. It may not get done the next day, but he'll report back. He writes things down. If I am telling you, that is in the 5% category. 95% of people do not do that. And Neiman, if you want custom screeners for Benzinga Pro, we have a VIP support team. You can reach out to them at VIPaccounts@benzinga.com. That's plural. VIPaccounts@benzinga.com. VIPaccounts@benzinga.com. Yes, I own BCRX. Let's go show my account, okay? That's what we'll do because it's probably easier to do that way. This is my trading account that I'm doing for the show. It's not my main account. I kind of keep it at whatever. So this is my trading account. That's what I would tell you guys for the show. All right, here we go. Oh, I got to move it to this side. All right. So now, yeah, I mean, guys, you could get any job you want, get any opportunity you want. If you want to get a job at Kathy Wood, you could. Like, if I wanted to go work at Kathy Wood's firm, I could. Like, if I want to go work at Goldman Sachs, I could. Like, and so could you. There's plenty of different ways to do that. You just have to be different than everyone else. That's it. Okay, I will go to Excel, Alex Sanchez, in a little bit. I think you made feedback. So here's my current portfolio. I wish it would show by recent trades. It doesn't. So Voyager is probably one of my biggest positions. I bought it when it was 15 cents. What you're seeing here is not like what it's worth or 30 cents. I've known Voyager for years. I know the leadership there, etc. So and then Tast, I've talked to you guys about Tesla. I'm happy to say that my position, I bought at 38. I bought some more shares recently. I bought some calls, but I'm happy to say it's 5%. Actually, I own it in another account too. So I own a little bit more. Taco, I've been trimming out. I don't know why. Oh no, that's okay. We should do it by portfolio size is what we should do. TerraSend, Penn National up 260%. GBTC, you guys know the deal. But let's get to the ones that we can talk about. Generac, I'm going to hang on to Generac. This is when there's storms. It always goes up. I'm going to hang on to Generac for a long time. You talk to me in 4 years, I'll have Generac, okay? We're going to go to some short squeeze plays. I don't know if you guys know this, But for the street.com, and real money subscriptions in 2010 or 2008, I was the shortsqueeze.com. I was the short squeeze writer for the real money for Jim Cramer's subscription site. So I wrote every day short squeeze plays. That's what I did. Okay. Here's my Tesla call that I bought last week or 2 weeks ago. Peloton, Tesla. Okay. So lithium I've been selling off. I bought this at $6 cost or 10, but I bought more at 14. I sold a lot of my position at 24. And yeah, this is definitely down. Curaleaf, I sold some. Twilio, I didn't sell any in the downdraft. Maybe I should buy some more, to be honest. I bought that originally at 35. GAN, I sold some at 30. But listen, it's performing well. So you probably should stay in some GAM. Jason, you didn't know that. I don't know. Okay. We're going to get to WKHS in a minute. QRTEA, this has been one of my best stocks of the year. It only says 47%, but it also released like a $2 or $4 dividend. I got like a $6,000 check from QRTA. Great stock. One of my best stocks of the year. I bought Steel because someone in the Zinger Nation chat. See, you guys are talking to me in Zinger Nation chat, but you guys should also be talking to yourself about trade ideas. There's a guy, I screenshotted his name. He's been telling me to buy Steel for a long time. So I finally did it. He's in the steel space. He says he's seen insane demand. He said, May, we're going to see some crazy stuff. So I bought a May 21st call. I guess I should zoom in a little more. So I bought a May 21st call on that. Maybe I bought a couple. I don't even know. BCRX, I still own the June $10 calls. I like that. I wish it was a little bit bigger in my portfolio, to be honest. I got to do better portfolio management. The percentage thing, I don't usually have up there. Now that I see that, I love it. I'm going to start looking at that more often. I look at the absolute dollar amount. I didn't put the absolute dollar amount here because I guess I would show the absolute dollar amount. I just don't know if people think it's bragging or too big, too small. I don't know. So that's why I don't do it. I would rather just show the absolute dollar amount because it'd be easier because the screen that I normally use is not this screen. So this is difficult for me right now. Slack, I bought, as you guys know, a long time ago, and I bought it all the way down from 35 to like 16 or 18. I know it's purchased by Salesforce. I sold most of the position, half. I kept 200 shares just to get some Salesforce shares when that acquisition goes through. I've been raving to you guys about Save, SAVE. I've been raving about Save to you guys. And it went down 10%. And a guy in here, who's probably that Rice guy, said, Jason, you're down 10% on Save. Well, we're now up 44%. So put that up in your pipe and smoke it, I guess, Tiny Pie, we should catch up. I want to do some video editing from that Kathy Wood interview. Hey, and if you guys think you're good and you would like to host a show and you have, and you can share something of personality, send us a clip. Send us a clip to powerhour@benzinga.com. We have graphic editors. We have all those people that can help you guys. That's why you see some of these other shows that we've been doing. I think we're going from like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., but expect to see more. So if you're good, record a 10-minute clip. Send us the link to powerhour@benzinga.com. And you don't have to have it all graphically updated. Don't worry about that. We got that. Penn National, you know the deal. I'm friendly with Dave Portnoy. I will be long that for a while. Disney. STKS is a guy who I like, who's smart. He gave it to me. It's has a chance when people go back to restaurants. I'm buying these travel. Marriott. I need to get back in that Marriott position. Darn it. Immersion, KMPH, BCRX. I own the stock as well. API. Look, I own the September's calls of 30%. MGNI. Me and Josh Brown. Thank you for reminding me. I got to promote that. Me and Josh Brown, Reform Broker, host a clubhouse at 3 p.m. on Fridays where people pitch us stock ideas. MGNI was a pitch from last Friday, guys. I bought just 0.43% of the portfolio, so up 27%. I mean, look at that return. Just look at that return, guys. Seriously. 27% from a clubhouse. I'm on Clubhouse. If you're on Clubhouse, follow me. My name is Jason Raznick. All right. I'm getting a message about ENG. What is ENG doing right now? I don't think they realize I'm live. I just lost my screen now too. Shoot. I don't know where we are. ENG. I'll have to send it to him that I'm live and I can't review. You guys know MG&I? If you know MG&I, press 1. I never heard of it, but I like connected TV. Who wants to work on our business development team reaching out to connected TV places for our channel? Whoa. Everything is going crazy on me. Hold on, guys. Okay, so we're back. I'm back. All right. ENG, is it up? I don't know why he wrote me ENG. I'll check it in 1 second. Let me just do a few more stocks, okay? Ford, this is a Luke pick. Up. Leslie's. I bought Leslie Calls. I'm going to stay in Leslie Calls. That's August. I think we're going to have a huge pool season. ENG up 28%. Wow. 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 I got to check that out. We'll bring my guy Jack on. I thought I had my ENG calls. Hold on. Where's my ENG? Oh, maybe it's in another account. Maybe it's in another account. Oh, I got to check my ENG. ENG just popped. All right. Let me get Jack. See if Jack can come on right now. 1 sec, guys. We're going to see if we can get Jack on. Where's Jack? I'm on Twitter. If you want to get a hold of me on Twitter, I'm Jason Raznick. Oops. Meant to talk ENG. Okay, we're going to get to the stocks that you guys are asking me about. All right. So we're back on the ENG. I own calls of it of some sort, but I don't know where they are. Maybe it's my other account. I got to show my other account too. Bill, I'm up to this. And so this is kind of my portfolio. TAP is Molson. Dividends. I like Roblox. I'm in Roblox. I bought a bigger position in Roblox than some of the other stocks that I love. So I gotta rethink my positions. My percentage sizing isn't what I like. I gotta readjust. Yeah, I bought IHG as a hotel stock. I told you guys that, so I'm still in it. And then here's some of my losers. This is some of my losers here. SGMS, I still like SGMS. So, and that's it. That's what I got. So those are my stocks. All right. So ENG, what's the news on ENG? Let me see. Let me see right now if I can get a news desker to come on to talk ENG. Hold on. We real time news update. One sec, guys. Come on. All right. I'm gonna see if we can get Jack. Jack's not there. Oh my God. All right. Public service announcement. I need to have like on the YouTube page that we have. I need to have on that page. I need to like give rules. You can be in Mars. You can be in Russia. You can be in Cincinnati. It don't matter where you are. You can be anywhere. If you think you're a builder, if you think you can build and you're awesome, so many losers. Oh my God. Yeah. You're going to be able to see my account all synced up, guys. So you don't have to go. You don't have to go there. You're going to see all my trades all synced up. You don't have me to share it. So that way, when we get on the show, you're going to already know what I own. And that way we can collaborate more on these things. So, and do you guys know what FUV is? Anyone in FUV? Let's see. So let's see if I can show you FUV. Hey, hold on. All right. All right. 1 second. All right. I'm going to send link to a guy to come in and talk about ENG right now. Hold on. We're going to have an ENG guest coming on right now. How do I invite a guest? Let's see. How do I invite a guest? I don't know how to do this. I forgot. All right, come on, Jason. You got to figure this out.
Raz, what are we trying to do? Invite Jack Hurley on?
I didn't say that. I have a guest to invite. I don't know why you're putting words in my mouth. How do I invite a guest?
You have to go back to the.
I'm on my video. I'm in my thing. I go to edit.
Open up the StreamYard in a new window.
Hey, names. I don't like names. Come on. So where do I'm open up in a new window? Okay.
Open up StreamYard in a new window.
Hey, stop with the names. Come on.
Sorry.
You keep doing this to me.
Sorry. I thought you were talking about the guy's name, not that. I realized.
No. I've told you numerous
times.
I
know. Sorry.
Okay, so I got it. All right, so I got it. Thank you. That's all I needed. I got it. Here, I sent link. You guys, cannabis stocks are moving also. So here we go. Hold on. I'm gonna open up Pro. I got someone coming in to talk ENG right now. Jack is coming on live. Okay, so we're gonna get someone to come in and talk ENG in 1 second. I hope and this is Jack Hurley, as my guy stole my thunder. Yes, Jack Hurley will be here to talk ENG. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Here we go. How could he ask me Jack who? Come on. You know better than that, sir. All right, hold on. I got to close that window. All right. You guys get to see the behind the scenes stuff that is going on here. Like, that's kind of cool. All right, let's make that bigger. Luke, Oleg did get back to me. He said, he goes, I've been super busy. The guy. Oh. All right. So here we go. My guy is here. He's in Bryant Park in New York. We brought him live on the show. We got some tall buildings behind him, which is good. So, Jack,
what's going on, Jason? How are you?
What is up, my man? How are you?
I'm phenomenal, man. It can't be much better. How are you? Good?
Good. I just miss you. Honestly, we used to talk a lot more than we do now, and I just miss you. It's like I know you're crazy. Everyone's crazy, but like ENG is today up $1.50. $1.50. I see up 33%. This has been favored.
What's the share price?
We're at $6. $6.
Nice. Way better than the $4 it was a few days ago, right?
What's ENG's? Yeah, what's ENG's market cap approximately? I'll look it up. I have it right here. 185 million.
What is it?
It's up close to 200.
Yeah, close to 200 now. If you remember our earliest discussion when it was 370, the rationale was that they had $300 million in backlog, and their margins are about 50-60%. So the market pushed them to about that 150, 140 mark, and then it bounced right off that number. So I'm not so surprised by today's move. I think it's a little bit of the whole market and rising all of the ships, but I'm glad to see it bounce off that low point.
So do you think they still have a good backlog?
Yeah, I think that, nothing has changed from a business perspective that would cause me not to want to own the shares. It's just my appetite was at $3, $3 and change, and so I would have to see either realization of revenue or an upcoming quarterly to kind of justify paying today's prices.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. And so, did you buy a bunch last week or anything like that, or you just? I've known you owned a lot for a while. So.
Yeah. So my typical mode of action is to buy it when I hear about it almost immediately, as much as I can, so that when you look 6 months down the road, 4 months down the road, I don't need to do anything. Right. The action should be within a short enough time span and at a heavy enough of an appetite. That the FOMO doesn't really kick in, and so I'm not chasing the 6 or 5. And I give myself what's called the margin of safety by doing that, right? So if I lock my shares into 370, I'm happy that it's 6, but I'm not going to raise my average by buying it when it goes to $4.50 or $5, as tempting as it may be. And so now, the shares would have to drop 50% for me to lose my initial principal. And so I think traders can really benefit from rationalizing with that margin of safety in a similar fashion. So
yep. So no, I get it. You're not chasing. So let me ask you a question. Have you sold off any of your stuff, or are you just staying long, or any of that kind of thing? What are you doing?
So,
Okay,
so
you
I'm
have a
still
lot.
holding all
You
equity
have
that
a
I
lot of
owned
other
from the beginning of the year.
Okay. Let me go through some of your picks. All right.
A lot of other picks, right? So you CVI, you look at EA, Truff, Clean Spark. I mean, sure.
All right, I have a Jack Hurley screen.
To
Okay,
answer your question, no, I have not sold any equity.
All right, I'm gonna make a new whole watch list for you. I have you in my other watch list, but I'm making Jack Hurley because, dude, you do the research, and I actually have a great guy for you to talk to. I have a friend who's at a battery company. He actually lives here in Michigan, and like he's a good guy for you to bounce stuff off. He he was nerding out. I didn't know what the heck to say. So, do you still own this, or did you ever own HDGHF? This is small cap. I know, guys. So don't go jump into it. Do you know what those are? The graphene plays. Do you ever play those ones? Oh, he broke up. You broke up. Can you say that again? Oh, we lost Jack on that important question. All right. Sorry, guys. You still there, Jack? Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm crying. Oh, there you are, Jack. We lost you for a minute. We lost you for a minute.
Here. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. So, did you ever own any of those stocks?
Problem.
So,
So hey Dale, I love any and all things graphene. Yep.
Got it. Okay. So, what about you're gonna get mad at me on one of them? I think you're gonna get mad at me. You may hang up the phone.
Hey Dale, I called APGMF, which.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, though. Jack, can you hear me? Jack,
you're breaking up a little bit, but it eventually comes in.
Well, you tell all those New Yorkers to like turn off their internet so you can hear
Jason.
me. Oh my God, I'm crying. All right, Jack, if you we could try it, but Jack, you're gonna guess what I did, Jack. I guess it's not working, guys.
What?
I sold some of my Clean Spark, man.
Can I call in? You did, and well, I don't blame you.
Yeah. Here. I'll call you. I'll call you right now.
Shaky hands.
Wait, Jack. Yeah, I'd shaky hands. I'll call you right now on my cell phone.
Right.
Answer that, and we'll play you on speaker. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right, we're moving Jack from a guest to this way. This is gonna be the way to do it. Hold on.
All right. Sounds good. That'll work.
All right. Jack, you there? Yes. Yep. I'm going to turn it louder. Turn the thing up. Okay. So, Jack, I did sell some of my Clean Spark. Do you want to throw a towel in my face?
No, I wouldn't blame you. I mean, Mr. Market quoting me Clean Spark at $30 plus is pretty rich. So, from a perspective of giving it to someone willing to pay that price, I don't blame you. It's just, I'll tell you that you'll kick yourself in a year or two. But if you bought it back at 20 and change, 23, 24, then you did pretty good.
Got it. Okay. So that's your thing on Clean Spark. What were some of the other ones? Because I'm making a new watch list for you right now. I have 4 stocks in my watch list, but I know you like some other ones. I just want to add them in, so I have them in my Jack Hurley watch list.
Sure. I mean, so some others, the graphene ones that you mentioned before are definitely within my realm. Haydale is one that you mentioned. Applied Graphene or APGMF was one. Versarian is probably one of my favorites in the graphene space, and they're very thinly traded. But
what's the symbol though?
VRSRF.
VRS.
And they're a UK based, as many graphene companies are, right? Because graphene was discovered in the UK, and their balance sheet is unbelievable. I mean, they have an almost 20-to-1 asset to liability ratio, which is unfounded in today's market. And then the other part is that their margins on the product are very impressive. And graphene, I think, is in its infancy, in terms of commercial side. But they've solved a lot of those problems, from applications to batteries to clothing to coatings. So I think, in the next 5 or 10 years, graphene is really going to make a displacement of a lot of the products that we like today that are usually associated with the chemical coating sector, as well as things like, materials, battery technology, etc., even construction materials as well.
So that's why I want you to talk to one of these guys. not one of these guys. This one guy, he works at a battery startup, but may start one that's like silicon because he says he can make silicone appear like graphene. I don't know what he's talking about.
Silicon has some very attractive properties as well, and it's also very abundant, right? Silicon's one of the most abundant elements on Earth, so silicon is another promising road as well as sodium. So those are two that are batteries in stages of maybe not production, but definitely research and development.
You're saying sodium, so you mean like salt?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. All right. So you don't have to go through each reason for this thing. What I have on my list from you right now is HD, GHF, APG, MF, ENG, CLSK, XERI, VRSRF, and then someone had COUV, but that's not trading anymore. So that one I can delete off it. Are there any other ones I should put in here?
I mean, we can go forever here on things I think should be on the Jack Hurley watch list, but I like to give you ones that I'm thinking about today, right, rather than 6 months ago, because my track record from inception of talking about a stock into the returns going forward are probably better than looking backward, right? So there's only a couple companies that I'm looking to buy, like starting, on today's ticker. I can give you one of those if you'd like.
Yeah, and preferably not one that's 10 cents. Preferably one that has a little more activity. But go ahead.
Of course, let me just take a look.
All right. So, guys, this is Jack Hurley. He's on Twitter. Yep. What's your Twitter? Is it Jack Hurley? What is it? I can go to your Twitter. I got it right here. Hold on. I'll just tell them because I can look it up. It's _ Jack's Capital. That's JAXCAPITAL. He's a longtime friend of Benzinga. Been a great guy and just longtime friend. And thanks for putting that in, Aaron. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yeah. No. I was telling Aaron. Oh, either way. Yeah, Aaron Bree, put your Twitter in. That's okay.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah, there you go.
Aaron's good peeps.
He is good peeps.
I'll talk about three. One of them is ETWO. And
okay, wait, hold on. ETWO. Aaron Bree, can you put the symbol in the YouTube screen so people can see it? At the bottom of the bar. Okay, Cove is still trading. All right, sorry, Thuck, I was wrong. Okay, so ETWO. What? So I'll give you some history. You gave this to me February 10th. Jack likes this because most customers on a 5-year contracts, he thinks strong EBITDA to 200 million. Do I have that right?
Yep.
Wow.
That number's probably conservative in my view when you look at the customers that they have. And, when somebody locks in a customer for a 5 or 7 year contract, just like Netflix or any of these subscription services, eventually they're going to say, we're going to add these features to our service and we're going to charge you a little bit more money. And so I think that 200 million is probably at live prices of what they're charging today. But if they keep the customers that they have for that period of time and they offer additional services, they can probably get that number upwards of 500 or 600 million EBITDA. And so, $2 billion market cap for a company like this is expensive. Don't get me wrong. But I see a very good future for them going forward. They're doing AI, logistical tracking and management. And I think there's going to be more of that in the future rather than less of it. And the management seems very confident and responsive to their customers.
So let me pull up I'm going to pull up ETWO on a quick chart. We're going to look at a 3-month. All right, so ETWO had a little bit of a drop, so people could still get in, lower, like it's at a $587 million market cap. People can still get in this one. There was a 13G filed on March 10th, 3 days after my birthday. Jack, you missed my birthday. Where was my present or my tweet happy birthday?
Oh man, that must have gotten lost in the mail or taken off the Twitter, man. I'm sorry about that. I'll make sure I send you something. Just text me your address.
So Elliott Investment Management. Wait,
what were you, 21?
Exactly. Wait, Elliott Investment Management has 25 million shares. It's 13G. Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that was one. Now let's go back to my watch list. Let's go to my Jack Hurley watch list. So I have to close that. And then with Jack, we won't take up too much more time. I just have to go to my Jack Hurley watch list. Where to go? I have to go there. They should make it there, but that's just what we have to do at Benzinga. This is Benzinga Pro.
I've got about 25 minutes, so you've got me for 25 minutes.
Right. So ETWO. It's my birthday. It was March 7th, guys. You missed it. There was no celebration. It was in the chat. They're talking about it. It was on Sunday, so there was no hurrah at the office, which I appreciate. So it's okay. All right. What are the other two symbols?
Another one that has been on the market for quite some time, and I think they're at a pivoting point in terms of business operation and actual realization of revenue is Arcadia Biosciences. And so the symbol is RKDA. They're a seed, genetically modified seeds and plant business that's working on altering traits of crops, including soy, hemp, and wheat, in order to be, drought resistant or a bit able to survive certain climates, or to increase yield or certain attributes of the plant that will make them easier or better to grow in certain conditions. And it's a tough business no matter which way you cut it. But it looks like they're signing on some pretty impressive third parties to work on their crop, and they're finally going to make a little bit of revenue. It looks like so. They've been beat down for quite some time. I think maybe 5 or 6 years ago, this stock was trading at like $50 or $40, and they've just been absolutely decimated. So the market cap is sitting at around 60 million. But when you look at their hemp product and their seed sales, direct to customer and direct to businesses, if they succeed at like a few percentage points of the market for either 2/3 or even 1/3 of the crops that they're displacing, I think 60 million is a pretty good price point for that business over the next couple of years. And the other part is that there's not a lot of shares. There's only, I think, 6 million shares. Was it 60 million market cap 3? So 20 million shares outstanding, which really isn't too big of a float to move. And I think 2 million plus of that is short.
Jack, why did they sell off recently? They had one day where they had a big day that they sold off. It seemed like one day.
I think that went along with the marijuana sector had a rough day because of the movement of one of the bills that was supposed to hit the floor, and it didn't end up hitting the floor. So I think it's unrelated to their business particularly, but your guess is as good as mine for any day-to-day movement of a stock.
Okay, and then wait, there's this one's too. Wait, someone asked me about. No, this is. Wait, hold on. This doesn't have anything. PYR, Pyro. I don't know what that is. Okay, so now let's go back to watch. So you had one more stock that I need to add to the watch list.
Yes. So this is it's a SPAC right now currently, and it's a space that I think you're getting it expensive. In my opinion, you're getting the business for a pretty high premium, but it's a field in which I think is very important, which is considerate and sustainable mining of metals, right? One of the big things that we're moving towards is battery recycling and net zero carbon extraction of metals. And so SOAC is the ticker. And I think
SOAC?
Yes, and Sustainable Opportunity Acquisition Corp.
Okay.
So that they're a SPAC, which I know it's a topic for discussion currently. But when I look at Deep Green and how they're looking to take nodules of the ocean on the floor and to extract metals like cobalt, manganese, nickel, etc., to use that for any and all applications, it looks like they have a pretty good foothold in that business. Now, I think that the net enterprise value that they're valuing it is near like a couple of $1 billion, which I typically like to get in things a little bit cheaper, a few $100 million, and enjoy the ride to $1 billion. But I don't think I'll get that opportunity this time. So in terms of being a sustainability student, I've got to say that I'd rather scour the ocean floors than continue extracting out of the earth these precious earth metals. And so if this, I'll put my money behind this business to say I'm willing to bet on them to do it right.
Got it. Okay. And when you're back, from New York or wherever, I should get this battery guy who literally is like a scientist with batteries and get you guys like got a show together and just like have a battery day. You'll like him. And I know, I guess we have a crypto show that just started and I have to transfer this over. So Jack, when you're, get more time, let's have you come on and talk your thesis. Cause what Jack does, he's a fundamental guy. He goes deep in the analysis on these companies. And he takes risks too on some of these things. He tries to find them before everyone else does. And so that means he could be down for a while, for 6 months, a year, but then he eventually gets 10x, 100x returns. So Jack, thank you for coming on such short notice. We wanted to talk about ENG up 30% today. You been on this one for a while. So appreciate it very much. Very, very much.
Thank you for having me on, man. Happy birthday. I'll make sure I'll send you something nice in the mail.
Wait, one question. Do you know if SOAC is like ABML?
I wouldn't compare them apples to apples in terms of business model because they're extracting in very different forms, and I'm not sure if they have the same purification technology. So they live in the same space, but they, valuation wise, I would consider SOAC to be more attractive at the current multiples than ABML. ABML was nice under $1 or $1, but I'm certainly not paying $2 plus for ABML at the current point. There's also a company, American Manganese, that I think is in the same space, and it's only worth like $200 million. Their ticker, I think, is AMZYF. So I think there's better opportunities out there that are relatively inexpensive and technically have the same yields and technology as ABML and SOAC.
Yeah, American Magazine. Yeah, I own that one in some account. I don't know what, but I do. All right, have fun. It looks like nice weather. It looks like nice weather out there. Thanks for coming on.
It's gorgeous, man. I'll see you out here sometime. All right, we'll grab lunch.
Absolutely, sounds good, man. Talk to you soon.
Good one.
You too. Bye bye. Bye bye. All right, guys, that was Jack Val. We were talking stocks. We were talking movements. We were talking energy. He's giving me some picks, some big winners. AMZYF is another one. I do own that in another account. They're not going to always go straight up, guys. Remember that. So this is Benzinga Pro, where we have notes here. I can see a history. So I knew Jack said this because of this. And I have my notes here, as you guys can see. So Benzinga Pro, pro.benzinga.com. I'm going to head into the chat room there. And NSPR, I didn't get to ask Jack about NSPR. Let's see if I have a note in my watch list. Follow us on Twitter, on Benzinga's Twitter. Follow, Twitter or our Instagram, and like and subscribe. And then we're going to head over to a crypto show. And if you're looking to make an impact, or you think you could be on the business development team, or you're a video producer, or you're a software developer, we are hiring aggressively. We have like 11 open recs right now. But if you do apply, just write in 3 or 4 or 5 bullet points how you can impact the outcome. Benzinga is not just like a normal place where you can just sit back and relax. You have to go take the horns, and you have to go make it happen. So if you need a lot of teaching, then it's not the right place. But if you're not afraid of things and you're not afraid to make phone calls, reach out, sell data. I mean, we're trying to take on the Reuters of the world. I mean, the Reuters of the world. Like Reuters would be someone that maybe have reached out to, whatever. And we believe that Benzinga is for us, by us. It's for you guys. And we're trying to build tools that you guys want. We're trying to give you people that you want to hear. We're not trying to be one to many. We're trying to be many to many. And so it's for us, by us. So that's why we go to the community so much and so often. We appreciate your feedback. We are owned by you. We are here for you. It's not Benzinga. It's Benzinga family. And that's how we build this company, Zinger Nation. So anyways, if you can email cooljobs@benzinga.com or powerhour@benzinga.com. And then one more last thing. If you have an E-Trade account, send an email to E-Trade. Say why you would love to see Benzinga news on there, because when you look up a ticker, the breaking news is not there for the stock, or you like to see our data. If you do that, take a screenshot. Email the screenshot to powerhour@benzinga.com and tell us your size and your address, and we will send you some swag if you wish to, as Bill O'Reilly used to say, as you wish to opine. So we really appreciate it. And Benzinga is about 95 people here, but we really are looking for people that are passionate about the space, and not everyone is. So Dave Folks, even if you don't have an E-Trade account, write in and say, I would open an E-Trade account if Benzinga News was there. I don't know if you guys ever go into Ameritrade, but check this out before I gotta transfer this over in a second, but watch this, guys. I'm going to stop sharing you can see my Benzinga Pro. That's Benzinga Pro that you guys are looking at. Here's a news feed. I got to work with Bird on some stuff with the news feed today. Here's signals. That's Benzinga Pro here, real-time news. But let's just go to this, signals. I built this thing. So look at that. I can do highs, 52-week highs, day highs. It gives me, look at that. Look at that. See, right there. Didn't we just talk about ENG? I didn't put that in there. So this stuff comes to me. I don't have to do anything. Do you like this feature? If you say no, wait, I hit this link here. Oh, Bert, what do I do? Do you like this feature? I don't know. I can find that out. Halt, resume. It's all right there. If we spoke in person, you'd see the fire in my eyes. Understand the great. Wimpy, you don't need to be a trader. People do send me their stock trading accounts and showing me the returns. I'm not interested in that, to be honest. Like, I'm not interested in your trading ability. I'm interested. Are you, do you business development? Can you take a product from zero to execution? Can you help lead people? Can you make relationships? Can you make our Twitter have more interesting content? That's what I'm interested in. Okay. So that's, that's just, hey, Luke, what's a whim today? A whim. ASAN. Asana. Asana. That's one of my. Okay, guys. Here's what I'm going to do for you guys right now. Watch this, guys. Okay. Hold on. Don't hang up on me yet. All right. Stop. Remove. Stop share. Now share my screen. Stop share. Watch this, guys. This is Ameritrade. You guys know Ameritrade? Okay. Hopefully you do. TD Ameritrade. All right. Let's zoom in. All right. Don't leave. Stay in just for this one thing. Got to show you this. All right. So here's Ameritrade, guys. But look at Ameritrade. So Asana's up 5% today. Do you see that thing up there? It says, why is it moving? Asana shares are trading higher. The company reported better than expected sales and issued Q1 sales above estimates. That is provided by Benzinga. This is news we're providing. So if you want to go view more stocks that are moving, it should change. Oh, hold on. Let's see if the window updated. I think you're behind. Okay, there we go. So if you want to see more stocks that are moving, you see like this is all our news headlines. This is called Why Is It Moving? This is our WIMS product. So if you're to be on our team and you're in business development, you'd be working with other brokerages to say, hey, do you want to license Benzinga's WIMS? Or you would be the guy on the news desk publishing this stuff, reaching out to OGI to see why their stock is up. That's the kind of stuff we need. People that are like, so Mosaic shares are trading higher if the company raises dividend. Or let's say, for example, that one stock today was up. I forget the stock we were talking about, but they were talking about an Atlas and Ripster. You would go find that and you would publish it. Like, we write this stuff. We are a newswire. Match Group shares are trading higher in sympathy with Bumble, which gained after Q. This is what we do. So you're on Ameritrade. We're powering a lot of the news there, right? And so that's like so if I went to news, so you got Market Watch, Benzinga. See that? And then there's a Benzinga article. So we want more people on our content desk publishing article, publishing content, and then you see Benzinga on the right side. That's our business. Okay, so oh my God. So you do not have to be in the Detroit area, but you have to be a doer. So if you want to host a video show, send a YouTube clip, record a 5-minute thing on why you'd be good. If you're wanting to be a content writer, go to benzinga.com, look at some of our articles, and then send a few samples of what you would write. Okay. Don't spend too long on it, and email us at cooljobs@benzinga.com or powerhour@benzinga.com. And that is it. And I'm going to transfer you over to crypto now. I have Ameritrade the news. Okay. What is Internet Explorer saying? It would be great to have a weekly, 2 times a weekly show with a top. Yep. Internet enforcers, consistency is key. I've tried to hire you to come on to lead this video stuff, but you're too busy. I get it. Anyway, I will talk to you later. No, Gavin, we probably wouldn't be the right thing. The PMP certification is not like it would be. That would be more for industrial or more for a larger company. This is Benzinga is more for like if you're like it's project management, but you need to have bruises from other places is what I would say. And scrappy. I mean, maybe you could be good. I don't know. I'm just saying it's not necessarily the thing that could help us. We look for doers. I wasn't given a chance at one time when I wanted to go work at a hedge fund, And so we, so I like to give people chances that are true doers, that are driven, like that will get up at 5 a.m. and work to 5 or 8 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? All right. So Muddy Waters tweets XL not deny much, still Spectra. XL deny aggregation pipeline over half, so that's Muddy Waters tweeting that. Okay. So XL, I'm going over XL right now using Ameritrade. Here are the Benzinga article, technical levels to watch. So if you go on Benzinga, we write this stuff in a very easy way. So you keep asking about, XL. Check this out right here. Here are the technicals on XL. So Thuk KK, funny you should ask that. Benzinga's news is not currently in Schwab. So, we're not in Schwab. It's one of the few places we're not. So what I will ask for you guys to do is to send an email to Schwab saying, we love Benzinga news. We love Benzinga data. We love it. Send them an email. Go on their site, hit the support us, the contact us, and then send us a screenshot at powerhour at benzinga.com. Powerhour at benzinga.com with your name and town and image of that thing to Schwab, and we'll get you some Benzinga swag. It'll be a t-shirt, a track jacket, or a hat, or whatever. And we need your size, but the more people that can send to Schwab, even if you don't have an account, that could help us. Again, Benzinga is not just about us. It's about you guys. For us to improve, we need more distribution. We need more of these partners. So it'll help you because you'll be using Benzinga and have access to news first, etc. So again, for us, by us. We need your help in all the stuff. Ameritrade's great. And here are the ratings. I can show you more places, but all right, guys, head over to the crypto show. We're late to it. I'm getting yelled at. Thank you for stopping by. Like and subscribe. Who do you contact at Schwab? If you go to schwab.com, you'll see like a contact us or support questions. Like hit that. You'll find something and say you would love to see news added. Send screenshots. We need like 100 of you guys to do that. Feel free to tweet to Schwab. I don't know, whatever. Internet Enforcers, I know what you're going to say. Link to more video on Benzinga. Okay. 10 to 15 million. Internet Enforcers, come to Detroit. Make shit happen. All right. I got to go and I think this will turn over. How do I transfer this over? Aaron Bree, are you still listening?
Yeah, it's set to do it automatically. So as soon as we end the stream, it'll pop up to give you the option to click over to the crypto show, which
you're yelling. You're like yelling in my ear, man.
What?
You're like yelling in my ear. You're loud.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm just using my mic on the MacBook, so I guess it picks it up pretty sensitive.
Yeah, it's so sensitive. It's a sensitive being, but you're a good man. You're a good man. You're a good man, Charlie Brown. All right. So when we hit end broadcast, it'll transfer over. Let's see, because I have my thing. Hey, guys, we're transferring over to crypto. Thank you. Spread the word on Twitter to check out Benzinga. And Aaron's not an asshole. He's amazing, Donald. So some guy is calling you a name. I love it. you can't get anything. You can't get anything.
Yeah,
right,
you can't win them all. You can't win them all over, right?
You can't win them all. All right. So and then Aaron, I sent you a thing in the chat thing. So will you check it out?
Yeah, about ENG or
yeah. Aaron, by the way, they don't know that. Oh, Donald's calling me the asshole, not you, Aaron. So you're safe for that one. Okay. They don't know when you're talking to me, we're on a different software than what they're listening to. So that's why I was yelling in my ear. So
got it. Yeah.
So
I see Ryan Rosbiani's in the comments. We're going to be live with Ryan today at 5 p.m. Eastern. We're doing our after hours show.
This Zach teammates made an interesting observation. I got to check this out on TradeZero and IBKR.
All right, I'm ending the broadcast. Time for crypto.
All right, you the man. See you later. And I guess me not be the asshole. You're the good man. And then, by the way, get that stuff with Jack Hurley as a separate clip. It was good stuff. All right.